Hello everyone, I am BowserJrXD. Welcome to the Sao Paulo ePrix at the Sao Paulo Street Circuit at the Enhembi Sandrome. Race 1 of 16 for Season 11 of Formula E. Being the only racing series that has its racing season start in the winter of the previous year. It's the first time it's happened since the 2020-2021 season. You know, I kind of wish they had more races like that. You know, they had, back when they would have more races in South America, like in Uruguay. They had a race in Malaysia back then. Hong Kong. Marrakesh used to be in the winter. At any rate, Formula E is back. And also has one of the shortest seasons, lengthwise, going from just about 6 months. It starts early and it ends early. Ends in July. So, okay, 7 months. But after this, it's about a month until the second race of the season. But we're here for it. This is the third time that Formula E has run at the Enhembi Sandrome, the site of the original IndyCar Sao Paulo Street Circuit. 2023, the race was won by Mitch Evans. Last year was won by Sam Bird in a last lap pass on Mitch Evans. We've got 3 rookies that are entering the field. In the number 2, we got David Beckman in the number 3 Cooper Kiro car. We have Zane Maloney in the number 22 Lola Yamaha, and we have Taylor Barnard in the number 5 McLaren. Of course, all the spec chassis. The only thing that's very different between the teams is the engine manufacturers. And of course, whatever the engineers can sneak past tech inspection. I'm going to give it a bit until I go over the starting lineup. Alright, Roku channel. Roku, this is how I watch Formula E. 5 races, I believe, will be live on CBS across the season, but I can watch my computer.
I'm excited. I mean, obviously qualifying didn't go how we wanted to, but mistake
from my side. DeVries talking. He's starting 21st in his number 21 Mahindra.
I'm going to be learning as we go. We'll see.
Are you enjoying it? How different is it to what you've been racing previously?
It's nice. I mean, the weekend, it starts off slowly, and then it's all jam-packed into one day.
I got to
so
make my picks.
For everyone, mechanics, engineers, myself, but I'm enjoying it so far. I'm loving it.
What do you think of the track here? You're kind of bunched in the middle here. What are you going to do to avoid the chaos of turn 1?
Try to stay out of the chaos or get involved, one of the two. We'll see. I mean, just need to play the race smart. We don't know how we are on efficiency. We'll find out today. I'm not expecting anything, to be honest. I'll go for it, of course, like always, but we'll see.
Have fun. Thanks for chatting with us.
So the teams are almost ready. The drivers are making their final preparations. We're about 15 minutes away from lights out here on season 11, and the anticipation continues to build here in Sao Paulo, as does the temperature.
Round 1.
Roku Ads Manager puts Roku's reach within your reach. Reach your target audience on Roku, America's #1 TV streaming platform. Run your ad alongside the premium content you know and love. Efficiently target your audience with our easy-to-use platform. Easily optimize your campaigns to hit your goals. Get started for as little as $500. Sign up at ads.roku.com.
Can your pad flex with you without shifting? Oh, his FlexBone can.
Alright, so, commercials. So, I'm going to go over the starting lineup for today's race. Starting 22nd, driving the number 9 Jaguar for Jaguar TCS Racing, for Jaguar TCS Racing. 30 years old from Auckland, New Zealand, Mitch Evans. He's got 12 wins across his career, all with Jaguar, but he hasn't won any. Last win was at Shanghai last year. He also is titleless. He did not make a qualifying lap. Starting 21st, driving the number 21 Mahindra for Mahindra Racing. 29 years old from Uitwilling-Gerga, Netherlands, Nick de Vries. The Season 7 champion has 4 Formula E wins, with his last win coming at Berlin 2 years ago. Starting 20th, driving the number 3, Kiro Porsche for Cupra Kiro. 24 years old from Iserlohn, Germany, David Beckman. This rookie starting his first full season, and arguably with the worst team to do it with. Starting 19th, driving number 22, Lola Yamaha for Lola Yamaha ABT Formula E team. 21 years old from Bridgetown, Barbados, Zane Maloney, the second of the 3 rookies. Starting 18th, driving the number 55, Maserati for Maserati MSG Racing. 30 years old from Birmingham, United Kingdom, Jake Hughes. He spent 2 years with McLaren before transitioning over to the Maserati team. He has no wins. He's got 4 poles. So I can look at all of the drivers' stats. Mitch Evans has 9. In addition to his 12 wins, he has 9 fastest laps and 9 poles. De Vries has 2 poles and 3 fastest laps. Jake Hughes, I said he has 4 poles and 2 fastest laps. Okay, keep going. Starting 17th, driving the number 5, McLaren Nissan for Neon McLaren Formula E team. 20 years old from Norwich, United Kingdom, Taylor Barnard, the 3rd and final rookie. Starting 16th, driving the number 8, McLaren Nissan for Neon McLaren Formula E team. 37 years old from Roehampton, United Kingdom, Sam Bird. Sam Bird has 12 wins in Formula E, with his last win coming at this exact track last year. He does not have a championship, but he's one of the most respected drivers in the field. He has 6 poles and 10 fastest laps. Starting 15th, driving the number 51 Porsche for Andretti. Also, so Bird has won for multiple teams, including Envision and Jaguar, before going to McLaren. Starting 15th, driving the number 51 Andretti Porsche for Andretti Formula E. 32 years old from Thun, Switzerland, Nico Muller. He's winless across his career, and he spent his last few years with Cupra ABT, or ABT Cupra. Muller has, trying to figure out, I think he doesn't have any poles, and he has 2 fastest laps. All right, starting 14th, driving the number 11, Lola Yamaha ABT Formula E team. 40 years old from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Lucas de Grassi, the most decorated driver in the field. Tied for most wins all time with 13, with the last one coming in London 2 years ago. And he is the Season 3 Formula E champion. It also comes with, and most of that was with Audi Sport ABT Scheffler. He's got 4 poles and 12 fastest laps, the most among all drivers. Starting 13th, driving the number 4 Envision Jaguar for Envision Racing. 33 years old from Maastricht, Netherlands, Robin Freins. This Dutchman has 2 wins, the last one coming at New York City 5 years ago. Freins has 2 poles and 5 fastest laps. Starting 12th, driving the number 16, Envision Jaguar for Envision Racing. 36 years old from Eigel, Switzerland, Sebastian Buemi. He's tied with de Grassi for the most wins all time and is the Season 2 champion, with his last win coming 5 years ago at New York City. Most of his success coming with the Dams team, especially when they were Renault-powered. That is now the Nissan team. He also has 16 poles and 9 fastest laps. Starting 11th, driving to number 33, Kiro Porsche for Cupra Kiro. 25 years old from London, United Kingdom, Dan Ticktum, who is also winless with no poles and no fastest laps. Now in the top 10, starting 10th, driving the number 37, a Jaguar for Jaguar TCS Racing. 30 years old from Auckland, New Zealand, Nick Cassidy. Cassidy is one of the shining stars of the sport right now. He's got 7 wins between his time at Envision and Jaguar, with his last win coming at Berlin last year. Cassidy has 5 fastest laps and 7 poles. Hold on a minute. Starting 9th, driving the number 2, Maserati for Maserati MSG Racing. 32 years old from Kortrijk, Belgium, Stoffel Van Dorn. Van Dorn has 3 wins and is the season 8 champion, with his last win coming at Monaco 2 years ago. His success mostly came with the Mercedes team, which is now the McLaren team. Van Dorn has 8 poles and 3 fastest laps. Okay, one point, all right, hold on, 69.851. All right, there we go. Starting 8th, driving the number 25, DS Penske. 37 years old for DS Penske. 34 years old from Pontoise, France, Jean-Eric Verne. This 11-time winner is the only multi-champion in the field, or ever, having won the championship in seasons 4 and 5. His last win came at the Hyderabad ePrix last year. Verne has the poles record with 17 and has 6 fastest laps. Most of his success coming with the Techeetah team, which no longer is in the series. Starting 7th, driving the number 48, Mahindra for Mahindra Racing. 37 years old from Geneva, Switzerland, Eduardo Mortara. This perennial contender has 6 wins. His last win coming at the last race of the 2022 season at Seoul in South Korea. He's had success with a couple teams, such as, the old Maserati team, Venturi Racing, as an example. All with Venturi Racing. I gotta hurry up, though. Starting 6th, driving the number 17, Nissan for Nissan Formula E team. 32 years old from Caen, France, Norman Nato. He has exactly 1 win coming 3 years ago at Berlin. Nato has no poles and 4 fastest laps. Starting 5th, driving the number 13 Porsche for Tag Heuer Porsche Formula E team. 33 years old from Cascais, Portugal, Antonio Felix da Costa. This 12-time winner is the season 6 champion, with his last win coming at Portland last year. Da Costa has 8 poles and 4 fastest laps. Starting 4th, driving the number 7 DS for DS Penske. 27 years old from Oberstdorf, Germany, Maximilian Gunther. This 5-time winner of last one at Tokyo last year. Gunther has 2 wins and no fastest laps, I think. And he's had wins with several teams, such as Mahindra and more recently Maserati. Starting 3rd, driving the number 27 Andretti Porsche for Andretti Formula E team. 29 years old from Nuneaton, United Kingdom, Jake Dennis. This 6-time winner is the season 9 champion, with his last win coming at Diriyah earlier this year. Dennis has 10 fastest laps and 6 poles. On the outside pole, driving the number 23 Nissan for Nissan Formula E team. 32 years old from Barnsley, United Kingdom, Oliver Rowland. Another up-and-comer. He's got 3 wins, all with the Nissan team, I'm pretty sure. Yes, all with the Nissan team, although one of those was when it was Nissan Dams. He won the final race of the previous season at London, and Rowland has 8 poles and 3 fastest laps. Finally, on the pole, driving the number 1 Porsche for Tag Heuer Porsche Formula E team. 30 years old from Sigmaringen, Germany, Pascal Wehrlein. The 7-time winner is the defending champion, with his last win also coming at London last year. Wehrlein has 3 fastest laps and 7 poles, including the one he got today. His pole time was 1 minute 9.851 seconds, which is an average speed of 93.9027 miles per hour. All right, now that we've gotten that done, we can sit back and enjoy the race. I believe it'll be 31 laps, except if we have added laps.
Changes the position as they come down into turn 1. Turn 2 and 3, the attack mode can come in on the exit of turn 3 to give you extra speed for a couple of laps. But it's the chicane at turns 4, 5 and 6 where you've got to be very careful not to make contact with another car. They will all be tight together, especially in the pack racing that we do expect at some stage during this race. Up to the top end of the track, through turns 7 and 8, back down, through the kink at turn 9, and then into the amazing turn 10, where Sam Bird last year made that brilliant move, going around the outside of leader Mitch Evans, taking the lead and going into the last corner in front, holding on to it, and therefore taking victory at the last race here in Sao Paulo. Absolutely brilliant performance. He's got a tougher time this time, but it does prove to be a brilliant track for Formula E's first race of a new season. So, we are looking forward to the battles.
Optimal position is third to save energy. Really?
Reckons that the optimal position is third to save
Oh, really? We're going to have
energy.
one of those
We're all
races.
wondering what position
The
is
Peloton.
ideal. No matter where you start from, where do you want to be running? So let's start down at the back. Mitch Evans, who was fighting for the championship last year with Nick De Vries, the former champion, on the back row. Then we've got David Beckman and Zane Maloney, who's making his first Formula E race. Then we have Jake Hughes and Taylor Barnard. Taylor has raced before, but this is his first full season. Then Sam Bird down in 16th place, having won last year. Nico Muller starting in 15th place. Lucas de Grassi, another champion. He starts 14th. Robin Friends for Envision in 13th place. 12th on the grid, another champion, Sebastian Boemi and Dan Tickton, who just missed out on the top 10. So then let's take a look at how it all goes for those that are a little bit further up on the grid. The top 10 always important, of course, as we go into the pack. And one of the ones who just missed out on getting into the duels, which takes the top 8 drivers who then battle for pole position, was Nick Cassidy, big title contender last year, and he will be starting the grid from 10th position for the Jaguar team. So Nick Cassidy, there he is, starting in 10th place on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side is Stoffel van Dorn, another former champion. He'll be starting with Maserati. John-Eric Verne, 2-time champion with DS Penske on the left, starting 8th, starting 7th. Edo Mortara on the right, racing for Mahindra. It was a very good effort in qualifying from Edo. Norman Nato on the left for the Nissan team, his 50th ever start. And then we have another former champion, Antonio Felix da Costa in the Porsche on the right. He starts in 5th place,
It's
just
Porsche.
2 positions behind his teammate.
Not Porsche.
On the left end, we've got Max Günther, who's moved to DS Penske this year, regular jeweler at qualifying here. And there is Jake Dennis, who only just missed out on the battle for pole, former champion, driving for Andretti. Second on the grid is Oliver Rowland, another Brit who won the last race of last season. But starting from pole position on the right is the man who took the title at that last round in London to win the last season. It is Pascal Wehrlein with the purple Porsche, who will be starting from pole position for this first race of the new season. And we are getting ready to go. They're moving from their key position to their main starting position now, as we are all ready then for a 31-lap race. It can be extended if there are delays or safety cars, but if there's no safety car, we are expecting this to be a 31-lap race. The first race of season 11 into a new decade. And remember, it's four-wheel drive that is going to help them get off the line and accelerate them down towards the first corner. And it is Pascal Wehrlein who starts from pole. Oliver Rowland alongside him on the front row. Jake Dennis on the second row.
All right, 31 laps. That'll be 56.5 miles or 91 kilometers.
And Norman Nato. We're looking on board with Sebastian Boemi. We're waiting for those lights to show us that we are getting ready to go. We're not quite there yet. Is there a delay? I wonder. Is there a slight problem? We're not hearing any news just yet.
Come on.
Normally it would be a fairly rapid run to the grid. The lights are coming on. It looks like we're getting ready to... Oh, no, delay. We do have a delay. Joining me in the commentary box.
Starts getting waved off.
For Formula E and a current world champion, of course, in world endurance, Andre Lotra. Andre, delays do happen sometimes.
It can happen, but shouldn't. Maybe there's issues with the start lights. It looks like, something in that region. A bit annoying for the drivers because they were fully focused to go. They did their burnout, and now let's see. Maybe there will be a message from the race director.
I'm just hearing that Robin Freitz might have had a problem, which might have led to delay. I'm not sure yet. You're on board here at this moment with Pascal Wehrlein as we wait to see what is happening. Yellow flag is out, but no action taking place yet. On board Sam Bird, the winner of this race last year.
Start it already.
He did start further up the grid on that occasion, but we're into a new... Let's listen. Oh, didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, listen to
Robin Freitz. We did wonder whether Robin Freitz was the one that was going to be having a little bit of trouble.
Attention everyone, we had to delay the start. We will start a new procedure, so stand by please. We need to remove one car from the grid.
Remove a car.
Please wait for following instructions.
So,
yeah,
race director making that decision.
Yeah, for safety concerns, maybe they were able to get the message that one car was in trouble, and yeah, it's definitely safer like this because you don't want a collision with a car standing at the start, and it's always safety first.
James Rostow with us as well, former team principal.
Looks like Robin Freitz is not even going to get off the starting line.
Is it to have this slight delay when everything has built up to the moment?
No, not ideal. Everyone's got their processes and procedures, and this throws a massive spanner into the works. One of the things that's interesting, this is a Jaguar powertrain. Now, we saw Mitch Evans have the issues earlier on today with his inverter in qualifying, which put him at the back of the grid, and now we've got another problem. Not sure we're going to hear what Robin's got to say.
We're hoping to get radio, but yeah, we don't seem to be getting it at the moment. But whatever.
Yeah, I do question whether it's the same issue that happened on Mitch's car earlier. We saw that unfortunately, Mitch was very fast in all the practice sessions, and he just got compromised by a technical issue, and it looks like it could be, well, it's definitely a technical issue, but it could be something similar.
Yeah, hopefully it's not an inverter issue, because that means that Jaguar will have a serious problem if they have this issue on different cars. And the thing is, with the inverter, if you change it too often, you have grid penalties.
Now remember, in Formula E, the rules are not that you get an extra warm-up lap or anything. You just sit on the grid waiting to go. That's what they're basically doing.
Yeah, now it will be interesting to see how the teams will react on this, because they are preparing the systems, the traction control based on a given tire temperature and the grip they're estimating, and the tires will cool down, and now maybe they will have more wheel spin, or let's see, maybe they can adjust the traction control in a different way to optimize the start in an unknown situation.
Well, that's what I gather we're going to be getting. We will see.
Everyone. We will repeat the start sequence. We will repeat the start sequence as it's in the sporting regulations.
Yeah, so the repeat of the starting sequence, but they will not be moving because they are already on the grid. So we'll just wait for those orange lights to then go out, and then for the red lights to count on, and then we will go racing. But this is a little complication for, as you say, all the teams, all the drivers, because they have a setup which they are fully expecting, and then it changes. Let's hope that everybody can just reset if necessary. We're getting ready then for the race to start. Lights out!
Lights out, we're going. Holy crap, that was fast. We're green. Roland with a good start. He's going to take the lead heading into turn number 1. Damn. That caught me by surprise. Gunther to third. Thing is, if this is a Peloton race, I'm gonna have to be adjusting constantly.
You don't necessarily want to be pulling away out in front and using too much electrical power. So try and settle in. We've got a freeway battle. Oh my goodness, that's all getting very tight.
That almost got dicey heading into that chicane. Oh, contact with a Nado.
Down the inside of turn 4, round the outside of turn 5, and as the Constantina came in, he made a couple of places there.
Yeah.
Very good start from Oliver Rowan.
Potential right front damage, Max being Max.
Dennis saying he has damage from contact with
That's
Gunther.
interesting. Talking about Max Gunther, he says there's damage on his car, potentially, Jake Dennis. So we'll have to see. He's running in 4th place at the moment, with Roland leading the race from the reigning champion Pascal Wehrlein. Gunther is in 3rd place, Dennis in 4th place, Antonio Felix da Costa. But as you say, Jean-Eric Verne has made a very good bit of progress. Dan Tickton was trying to make a move. Sam Bird's done pretty well because he started a long way back down the grid, but he's moved up into 11th place, so that's a good start.
Yeah, great start from Sam. I mean, last year's victor, let's not forget. So he knows exactly what he needs to do to get it done.
Mitch Evans moved up a lot of places. He's in P15, considering that
Costa trying to get through to he got past Dennis.
Absolutely right. And seeing Mortara
He's up to
getting
4th.
there as well. This is all
Formerly
looking very
is, I need like a
exciting.
moving
Norman
leaderboard
Natter
or something
in
to
8th
go into
position.
next
Race
time.
leader though, Oliver Rowland, just trying to make that break a little bit from Pascal Wehrlein, but he will not be trying to charge away too much.
No, Jean-Eric Verne is very feisty. He's trying to move on Jake Dennis.
Yeah, round the outside, the gold and black, that is Jean-Eric Verne trying to go
Oh,
around
Lee's
Jake
getting
Dennis.
rustled around the
White and red.
track.
And, yeah, he's managed to get him, hasn't he? So he's managed to get that position, and Jake Dennis is now down into 5th position.
He's
So
in
Jake
6th,
Dennis is the
actually,
second
behind
of those 2
Verne.
cars you're looking at. The man who was very quick in qualifying but just missed out on the battle for pole. Champion a couple of years ago, now settling in, but he's still in the game. He's still very much in the game. But Jean-Eric Verne, with all his experience in Formula E racing, seems to be thoroughly fired up. We did see he looked pretty happy even after qualifying, despite the fact that he hadn't been in the battle for pole.
Yeah, the DS Penske's are looking very racy this afternoon. They definitely have an air of confidence around them. They've made some changes from last year to this year. Max joining the team, and Jean-Eric is just slicing through the field at the moment.
Yeah, so we shall see how this develops. Down towards the back, we've got some of the youngsters down at the back who haven't had such a good start. Zane Maloney's down there. He's one of them. So is Taylor Barnard. But they are all still learning about what it is to race in Formula E.
And very civilized so far. There were no incidents of broken wings, so the pack is still very close together.
I'll
So
update it.
let's see how
I'll
long
give it a
will
couple
last.
more laps before I update
Absolutely right.
again.
So here we are on board with Jean-Eric Verne. So, you've got to be careful
Verne's
on
up
the there,
to
otherwise
5th.
you're going to run into the back of the Costa.
This is where we're seeing the upgraded front wing being a lot more robust than the last 2 years, because that impact last year would have been an issue.
Yeah, that happened exactly
Yellow
to me
flag.
at the same spot. You have to be ready to stop sometimes, and yes,
I think that-
Oh, it's one of the is
I
that?
spoke a bit too fast.
No, it's
Yeah,
Muller.
it's Muller, isn't
Muller
it?
has
It's
wrecked
so-
out.
That's a safety car for sure.
Oh wait, that's a Maserati as well. That's
Yeah,
Jake Hughes.
Muller is
I didn't even notice there was a
inside.
second
Jake Hughes
car.
on the outside with the
Safety
Maserati.
car for a
The
2-car
two of them
wreck.
come together.
Jake
So you were
Hughes.
just saying, unfortunately, Andre, it had all been clean, but it's not now. And sadly, Jake Hughes and Nico Muller. Let's see. We'll hopefully get a replay of what actually caused it.
The
safety
two
car
highest
is
number
now out.
cars
They
in
are
the
slowing
field.
down. And of course, remember, no one has got into attack mode just yet.
It looks like they went through a barrier.
It's an exit of turn 5 and 6, and it's a very tricky place because you can be side by side going into 4
well,
and then
those
together in
things
5, but
they're
then
just piled
it
into
gets
a
so
wall.
tricky, into the,
Like if
into
the wall's
straight,
here,
and, probably
car
Nico
1,
didn't
car
want
2.
to leave enough space, or maybe
They
it
are
happened
junked.
with Jake Hughes squeezing Nico in turn 5, and then they touched, and then they ended up in the wall.
Yeah, that's a great shame. A real disappointment. Pit stop. Sorry. Let's just have a look at Muller. Have a look at how this all... Oh! Now, that's interesting. It was a real collection there.
I couldn't even see what happened.
Cupra Oh, and then there was a separate... to both of
They
the
were
Cupra
almost
Curos.
innocent victims, a pair of them.
The Envision. I think one of the Envisions got into Hughes, got him, and then I can't. Muller lost it trying to avoid it.
Beckman, I think, that then was involved in that other incident.
Yeah, there was no intentional bad driving there. It was just a chain reaction of trying
Muller
to avoid
out.
contact, and then
Hughes
going
out.
a bit in the
Both of
dust.
them were running to the
and
back of the
that,
pack.
Unfortunately, ended the race for both of them. They didn't even try to do anything bad there.
Wow. We're looking at the view for
So
Jake
if we
Hughes.
follow the blue Maserati of Jake Hughes here,
Hughes was trying to
you can
make
see
a
that
lot
he has
of
to slow down a little
wacky
bit.
moves.
Stay
Started
on the
stopping
outside.
out of the chicane.
and then he just checks up.
Oh, never mind, it's a different one.
Straight to the wall.
Well, there was contact
Definitely a different
between
Maserati.
Ferrari,
Safety car, do not wait because the equipment is on the track.
So just a bit
Formula
of,
E doesn't
from
do
the
enough
race director
replays
about
for
being
its
careful
wrecks.
about,
So yeah, he had some momentum in the
I've
exit.
noticed that, like,
and
usually they'll do it
Buemi
once,
didn't really have such
maybe
good exit,
twice.
Buemi then had a bit of a power slide, which touched JQ's
Okay,
front
Buemi
wheel
slid
and
his
then
car
sent him in the barriers
in the
and
turn
Nico
after
had
the
nowhere to go.
chicane,
absolutely, I agree.
which
That's just one
got
of those
into
things
Hughes,
that
caused him to
sometimes
lose control
happens.
at the wall.
And it is that kind of area
Muller
of
loses it off
track
the
that we
same
totally
turn and
understand
gets
that. They all
into
bunch up
the
there.
wrecked
It's a tight area
Hughes.
coming out
Anyway,
of
that's
exit.
one
It is very
Maserati
easy for it to go
and
wrong hit the
one
wall. So the marshals
Andretti
doing
out.
a fantastic job getting those cars out of the way. We're under safety car, still in the very, very early stages of this first race of season.
We're now on the
11.
third lap.
And this
This is going to be quite a race, I think.
So
Oh, hi,
let's just
Rafa.
see how they are all just going to be looking after power at this stage. And remember,
You
we
missed
may
the
well
first
get
wreck,
extension
I
to
think.
the race distance from 31 laps to be increased. If we're behind safety car, they will add a couple of extra laps depending on how long they are behind the safety car. So the power use is still very, very important. It doesn't suddenly mean, oh, they're going to have loads of power. No, because
you
they
saw
are
the first
likely to have
replay.
extra laps added to the race.
Sunday,
I
a
do really take
championship
it
that
very
was
steady
started
in that
last
area
season
because
is
of
the
work
Manufacturers
being done by the
Championship.
marshals
As
to
an
collect
FIA
those cars.
series, they
So
have
on
the
road,
driver's
did that
title and
great
the team's
start
title.
from
Now they
these
also have one for
second
engine
place.
manufacturers,
Just
so the
talk us
top
through it,
two
Andre. It looked like
finishers for
Pascal had a
each
bit of wheel spin. It
and
was not a
powertrain
reaction
count
time
toward
issue,
that.
so
So
I
there's
think,
Porsche,
yeah, the
Jaguar,
Nissan adjusted their settings better, and then he
Nissan,
had just a better
Mahindra,
drive off the start.
Lola
Yeah,
Yamaha,
that was
and
good. Pascal
Stellantis.
Wehrlein
Stellantis
felt,
covers
need to
the
battle it.
Maserati
What
and
else did you see
DS
there,
engines.
James?
Oh, they just look so fast.
Yeah.
The
Well,
starts
with the
look so
four-wheel drive.
fast. It's,
Which,
it's
even
quite
though they
impressive
have
to see.
different
Yeah,
names, but are
amazing
covered
start
by
from
the
Nissan
same
car, Oliver Rowland, and making sure it
engine.
counts.
Although DS
We saw
Penske
this
is
battle
considered the
with Jake Dennis
factory
in the
team and
middle of
Maserati is the
quite a lot
customer
of
team.
Actually, in fact, he was slightly further ahead at that point. It was more Norman Nato who was in that middle group there.
It was very impressive from Jean-Eric Verne there. Where he placed his car was
Yeah.
perfect. Stayed out of trouble.
Jean-Eric Verne started in
This is Max
8th, he's
Günther,
currently
who
in 5th.
Also delivered well. He was battling with Jake Dennis, and Jake was complaining afterwards. Oh, that was tight.
There's the contact.
Yeah, didn't leave him much space there. That was not very fair because obviously you're side by side and there's not much space on the other side for Jake. So that's exactly what he was complaining about.
And let's see what it was like for the pole man, Pascal Wehrlein.
Oliver Rowland got a
So
much
you
better
see on the
start than
steering wheel
him.
these little LED lights. They're indicating
Nissan
how much
just
wheel spin you
pulls
have, and
right
then
by.
maybe you can adjust a bit your throttle. But normally now it's a different dynamic because it's full traction control of the line. So it looks like he was pretty much under control, but it means like the Nissan have better systems after the line.
Well, he's still in a very good position, second place. Being the leader is not always the best thing because that can sometimes use up more energy. And into the pits, Taylor Barnard.
But I guess he has damage. Get back out.
So we've just seen Taylor Barnard with a tyre change coming into the pits and heading.
Right.
So first thing is, let's just check your pressures, please. Just check your pressures.
And we're just listening in to Sam Bird, checking pressures. He did make up a bit of ground in the early part of that.
Yeah, he made some moves. I mean, it was definitely an action-packed first 2 laps, or first 2.5 laps that we got there. Mitch Evans, unbelievable, Andre.
Yeah,
up to 12th.
Yeah, I just saw that. He was
Mitch Evans started 21st and is up to 12th.
He's 12, so that's
There's a reason he's a
great effort,
perpetual
from
championship
starting last.
contender.
He didn't seem so
If only he
confident
wasn't
when I
like
was
Denny
speaking
Hamlin.
to him that he can move ahead and with the flat-out racing that there is at the back of the grid. But now he's really close to the point.
Webmy Radio.
Yeah, this is not racing. Copy, tell us about I don't know the front wing. I don't know. I think he's moving. I'm not sure. I don't want to pit yet, you know, but obviously safety car will be, if we need...
Oh wait, is something wrong with Wemmy's wing? Oh, is Wemmy's front wing is broken. You can see it kind of, part of it looks like it's snapped because it's not symmetrical.
To continue, but it could snap on the straight with a high downforce and with a high speed. So it's a tricky
Frines
choice.
is...
It's not going well for Envision, is it? Because already the other car of Robin Frines that had a problem on the grid.
See if we can see what happened.
He's waving her off.
So
I think his car's fully shut down. You can see the dashboard.
Did they
is
fix
completely
Frines'
blank.
car?
I just think his car's shut down. So that's definitely a pretty serious issue.
So they did the right thing, really, to move him out of the way, wait for the start. That is one of the rules in Formula E. But for Envision, this is really not working out well, as we've just seen for Sebastian Buemi, who's down in 15th place, but with a damaged front wing as well. And it's just not looking good for the team at all, which is a bit disappointing. They've had highs and lows. Last year was a bit of a tough year, anyway.
Envision was that, yeah. 1 year after they won the 1 year after they Envision won the team championship, they weren't even close to winning.
Expect it to survive 25 laps.
Wait, Cartoon Network sponsors Envision? That's cool.
Other cars if you're in that part of the grid. So I would probably bring Buemi in.
So let's see how Mitch Evans has made up so many places since the early. He started last, to remind you, because he didn't get the car to qualify because it just didn't run. So
whoa, 2, 3.
Turn 4. Look how many places he can. Sorry, turn 7. Turn 7, yeah. And then coming through turn 8. Yeah, but that was lovely.
There's 3 cars on one straightaway.
Around the outside, everyone is focused on defending on the inside, and sometimes there's just a path, and you go for the gap, and that's exactly where he made all these places.
And what's great is by doing that move, he didn't actually spend energy to gain the places, so he's not lost any of his battery efficiency or anything like that. He's just purely outbraked 4 cars into one corner.
Yeah,
lap 5.
Well, and as you say, to see Mitch Evans up into 12th place.
Nodville and Mortara under investigation for causing a collision. So the number 17 Nissan and the number 48 Mahindra.
So we'll see what goes on about that. And of course,
Jake Hughes. Wait, why are the 2 cars that wrecked out under investigation? What are you going to penalize?
But as we've seen, it was sort of involved.
They're already out.
Different cars. It wasn't just them, really.
I don't think there's going to much investigation for this incident, really. It was just like a bit of a freak racing accident that it's no one's fault.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. When it gets a bit busy like that, it can...
It's a long safety car period. Let's see how that will affect the race. In general, in the past it was that, okay, they extend the laps, but usually you have a bit more energy available, so we might see a bit faster
I'm so confused. I didn't understand the joke
than a normal situation.
We've got high temperatures here as well, so this is a little bit of an opportunity for the electric power units to cool down a touch.
That overlay of the driver, that looks so goofy.
Because they will be running very, very warm, and if they run too hot, these electric
Fox Track
systems, they do
that.
have to back them off a bit.
And also, they can't even get the place right. That's not rolling. That's the
that if the consumptions are too high, that the drivers will need to drive to that limit in order not to exceed the output. And you could be in a situation where you're not able to use all the energy available.
We're going to go back to racing shortly. These
I wish a black and white flag for Mortara. That's a warning flag.
So, yeah, Mortara.
I think they've gone already.
Yeah.
Oh, we're green. It's back in Sao Paulo, which is also Rafa's home race.
Pascal Wehrlein with Max Günther in 3rd place.
Here we go again.
Leading Porsche, leading DS Penske. And we are also keeping an eye on Da Costa in the other Porsche and Jean-Eric Vergne. In fact, Günther has the Wehrlein. It's very close between them as they went over the line. So Oliver Rollins got the lead, but there could be a battle for 2nd position. Possibly Günther having a little look down the inside.
Depth perception
decides
is a
against
bitch.
it and just holds onto position. So it's still Oliver Roland who is leading for Nissan at
Ooh, look at that send!
And now attack
it's attack mode. Right. Every track on Formula E has an attack mode section where you must take a suboptimal route around a turn to get extra kilowatts of power. You get, I think you get 6 minutes in a race. No, you get 8 minutes in a race, and you must use all of your attack power, attack mode time, or you will receive a penalty at the end of the race.
Attack mode of 2 minutes and then 6 minutes when you.
So you can take 2 minutes and 6 minutes, or 4 minutes and 4 minutes.
People have gone for 4 minutes, I notice, on the list there. You can see that Degrassi's gone for 6, or some have gone for 2 minutes.
Virtual Race Engineer says 2.6 is optimal, but is higher risk. Oh, we got a stopped car. That's Maloney. No, wait, that's Degrassi. I couldn't tell what number that was.
Here, doing this event in Sao Paulo.
A stopped car.
And we've got yellow flags. And of course, for those who have gone to attack mode, this really hurts when you get the
what's with the debris on the front? Where did all this debris come from on the front stretch?
Yeah, absolutely, and that can cause chaos.
What the heck?
So they were still racing, coming down to the line here, of course.
Also, Gunther is now in second.
As we see, Roland is still just in front.
The Grassy has come to a screeching to a stop.
Racing here because it's not a full safety car. It's just a yellow flag patch, so they can race hard.
Oh wow! On the exit,
There it goes.
Nick Cassidy just
One of the Jaguars trying to make a.
Fantastic. So he still does have attack mode because we're under yellow flag, but it doesn't lose attack mode for
Vorline's back in third.
the circuit where there are no yellow flags, and for the moment he is making up a
Yellow
good
flags
amount of
removed.
time. If it does go, no, it looks as though the yellow flag's been withdrawn now, so this racing continues.
Yeah, remember attack mode is 350 kilowatts and four-wheel drive, so it's really maximizing everything there to overtake, which is not easy because the track is narrow, so you really have to be strategically in the right spot. He's already in P3 now, so really getting a great show from the attack mode.
Interesting, the Porsches have swapped round, but yes, you're right. Look at where he is now. He's up to second.
He's going to be in the lead at the start of the next lap, I'm sure of it.
So the
Cassidy up to second.
10th place, who's gone to attack mode, the four-wheel drive attack mode, and we knew that it was worth about 2 seconds a lap, but for him to make
Yes,
the jump
so
that he's just
most
done,
race vehicles do not use four-wheel drive, not even NASCAR IndyCar. Attack mode does enable full four-wheel drive, and Cassidy has rocketed up to the lead.
This is the race continues.
This is exciting. I mean, you need to be able to capitalize on it and use your four-wheel drive, but Nick knew exactly where to put the car. Every corner he was passing one or two cars. Amazing.
More attack mode being taken.
The attack
It also
zone.
makes it
Guys, I think
harder
we're
to
in for
keep
a
track
show
of.
with this new attack mode system, and let's see how the drivers are going to maximize this, and then it's going to be hard to follow up with how many overtakings they're happening now and who is doing what and when and where.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a little tricky to keep in touch. But Nick Cassidy, who of course was very successful for many races last year, but then it all went a bit wrong for him in the final.
Degrassi's
couple
in
of
the
rounds.
pits.
He is now
He's
leading
probably
this race.
done.
Over Roland, with Max Günther holding on in behind. But then keep an eye on Stoffel Van Dorn, who's in the blue Maserati, because he is now running the attack mode. You'll see the magenta colouring on the lighting at the back of the car there on the right as you look at it. That is a car that is running with the attack mode, and he's trying to find a way past.
Van Dorn,
It's not
Da
quite
Costa.
working just yet, but he will do.
Nick Cassidy sets the fastest lap.
Cassidy drive past all of them.
Here comes Van Dorn, the fourth. We got about 20 seconds left of his of attack mode. Use this.
Drive past
There
them
we
all.
see.
Yeah, the advantage he had is that not many people were on attack mode when he went for it, and I think that is key because you don't want to take attack
got
mode when a lot of cars are taking
Gunther taking attack mode. I see Dennis. I see Evans. DeVries.
How much time
I'm going to give it a little more time again before I make
4
a...
minutes now and 4 minutes later. Use it twice.
Okay,
during the
Van
race.
Dorn's now out of attack
6
mode
minutes
as he...
now and 2 minutes later.
So you have to use a total of 8 minutes during the race. You can split that up into 2-minute sections for everybody at home to understand. The team pre-decides what they're going to do, and that is what makes a difference.
But I would guess that it's best to keep it as late as possible. But the danger is obviously if there's a safety car, then you can't use it. But if you have an attack mode left in your pocket and you're in the game, then you're in a really good position.
So Nick Cassidy, who, as you say, was the first to go into that attack mode effectively, to use it. Oh, a little bit of lock-up going on as the Porsches are battling again and going back the other way, because Pascal Wehrlein now goes back ahead of Antonio Felix da Costa. Wehrlein back up into 5th place. Remember, Wehrlein was the pole sitter.
Oh, DeGrasse just kind of went off.
Lola has gone off.
Fastest
Now,
lap
that's a
set
bit
by
of a shame.
David
They're having a bit
Beckman,
of
the
a
rookie
tough time.
from
So,
Germany.
Zane Maloney and his teammate already in the pits and having a chat with his team, not looking very happy at all, is he? So Lucas de Graciel, and we've got
Both
more.
Porsches taking attack mode.
Both the Porsches going into attack mode. This could be very interesting.
So they've gone for the 2 minutes in the beginning, so they're going to have a 6-minute boost of attack mode towards the end of the race.
There you see the strategic aspect of the race. So they're taking the prize to lose a few positions now and
Not gonna lie, that so far this is much better than last year's.
You can get into incidents, but then if they're able to capitalize later on their 6 minutes,
Just because attack mode is so good now,
Well,
that you can actually afford to be strategic with it. They don't have to Peloton it.
He's now up into 7th position. He is in attack mode at this point, so this is working well, and he's ahead of Wehrlein and da Costa at the moment on those attack modes. They're all having a very good race, in fact. You can see that. So you've got the Jaguar there with the gold colouring across the top, the new livery, battling away. That is Evans, and he has got the Porsches, which have been going
Fastest
extremely
lap
well.
by
In
Mitch
fact, Evans
Evans.
just set a new fastest lap. So that is working well for the man who started from the very back. And you think how Jaguar had a tough time.
Wait, Norman Nato up to
Just
second?
moving ahead of his
Wow.
teammate Nissan running second and third. And then we've got this other little battle with Jake Dennis getting very, very involved.
Ooh, there's an Envision pass. There's Bunny going by Tictum for 12th. Another car taking attack mode, Jean-Eric Verne for 4 minutes. Maloney taking 6 minutes.
For a few more seconds, but he
Drive-through penalty for Taylor Barnard, Sam Bird, and Norman Nato for overpower.
So you have penalty,
which means that they use too much energy.
Taylor Barnard and then
both McLarens
Bird
and
also Nato
a
for
Nissan.
using overpower. So it's interesting.
All the Nissan. Three of the Nissan powertrains, that is. That's such a shame.
Wow.
Yeah. So the way that works, the race control has the telemetry, and they can see if the spike in power. You just need to have a little spike over a bump of an overpower, and then that's immediately a penalty. So that is the difficulty for the teams to be as close as possible.
You get
to using the
overpower
maximum
penalty,
Look at how Nick
using
Cassidy
too much
used
energy.
that power very, very effectively as he moved his way
Wait,
through the order and to take the lead of the race. But he has lost that lead briefly, although now he's still battling with it, and he is back in
So
front.
Norman Nato will have to, I guess, had to pit from the lead. That'll end his race. And the two McLarens.
Who had got in front has now had to make the pit stop or
Rip.
pit run and come back out again, and that really is going to hurt him very, very much. Jake Dennis now on the right, the British driver trying to get past another British driver, Oliver Rowland, and he does so. These two were fighting in qualifying earlier on, and now they're running up in that top group. But just look where Mitch Evans is. Mitch Evans, who started at the very back of the grid, is now in 4th place in the Jaguar.
Rowland is actually quite in a good position. He hasn't used any attack modes yet, and he's still in the game.
That's impressive, the fact that he's not used the attack mode yet. Oliver Rowland, who's currently running in 3rd place in the Nissan, the red and white Nissan, he hasn't used it yet, so he's in good shape.
Yes, he hasn't used it, but the others did of the Nissan powertrains, and they've all had penalties. So I wonder if he's going to get away with it.
Well, he still has to use his attack
Well,
mode.
let's see how the team can react to that. Maybe they have some mode on the steering wheel that maybe they can adjust a little bit something to protect themselves from that, but I don't think so.
We've got the energy numbers on the screen here. We can see that everyone's looking pretty
Fastest
good.
lap set by Zane Maloney, the rookie, the boy from Barbados.
It seems like the attack mode is overpowering anything to do with having a single % of energy.
Yeah, now I think the Porsches are also in a good shape because they still have 6 minutes left. And when you see how powerful that is, how quickly you can get to the front, and they're still in position in P6 and 7, and they can even work together as a team.
Yeah, you can see DaCosta and Verline, they've got almost 2% more than Cassidy and Evans in the Jaguars. So, as you said, Andre, when we get towards the end of this race and they've got that 6-minute attack zone, they're going to be able to use that power to drive past them.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see. You need the most energy, and so Ollie Rowland is in good shape, but we shall see. So is Jake Dennis, potential runners towards the end of the race that will be pushing even harder. You're on board with Nick Cassidy running
Oliver
in
Rowland
second
was my
place
pick to
currently,
win the race.
just following down behind Ollie Rowland, but Rowland with that little bit more power, and still very close in this group. Jake
Oh,
Dennis,
there's Buemi's wing. You can see it's decayed even more. It's flapping.
That front wing still wobbling away a little bit on Sebastian Buemi's car, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much.
So he took the bet to stay out and hope that the wing will hang on. So let's see. It's quite wobbly.
Right, making a pass on Gunther, and then there we go.
A warning from the race control to come and change that because it could be a potential danger. But for the moment,
That thing is flapping.
You're showing on the screen now.
He's going to pass
graphics
Gunther,
how
or
much
try
they've
to.
got attack remaining, and it is only Ollie Rowland, the race leader,
There we go.
who in theory still has the full 8 minutes of attack mode to use. But we do wonder why it's come up like that.
He also has an energy advantage over Cassidy. I wonder if he's going to spend that energy advantage to try and pull away before taking his attack mode, and then see if he can use attack
That
mode
way
to
he
even
won't get
pull away
past.
further from the field.
That's a very good point indeed. It may well be the case.
Maloney up
has made
with
all
his,
the ground,
he's got
hasn't he?
attack mode.
With
He's up into the points.
up
The
into
first rookie to
ninth
do so
place, the
today.
yellow and blue Lola Yamaha.
it's really impressive. I just checked. Jean-Eric Verne took attack mode. He was in position 15 or something like that, and he moved up almost 10 places. So that's like, we see potential for drivers to overtake 10 cars during attack mode.
Yeah, it really does make a huge difference. We're getting towards half distance, and they are still jostling for positions, but it's usually when we get into the final third of the race when we really see them go into full race mode, if you like. They're not then having to save energy quite so much, but you are always thinking, how much energy have I got? Where can I go on the attack?
Though we also might have added laps, considering the safety car we got for the Hughes motor wreck. Roland taking 2 minutes of attack mode, only loses 1 spot, and he's going to get it right back with that extra power. The extra 50 kilowatts, the extra wheels in the drive. Didn't cost him anything.
460, 470 horsepower.
So now this is also the different aspect of attack mode, to use it to defend yourself and rather than overtaking.
Yeah.
Pascal Wehrlein has taken his last 6 minutes. That'll be about 6 laps.
Which will still give him a good amount for later in the race.
Yeah, it should allow him to pull away now from Nick Cassidy. From what we've seen, he should be able to pull away 2 or 3 seconds from the rest of the pack here. Give himself a bit of a gap. And then he has a choice. Do I wait until later on in the race? I mean, I can't believe we're only a halfway point. There's been so much action already.
It has, that's right. But Ollie Rowland's in a very, very good position at the moment, bearing in mind what he's done so far. There are some good battles.
I'm going to have to rewatch this race later, because this is genuinely a fantastic race so far on a goddamn street course, too.
So far being extended due to the safety car period that came out a little while ago, but that is something, yeah, that we need to keep.
Ooh, look at that move coming, I think, from one of the Mahindras.
A little bit from everybody else.
Yeah, got right. That's the freeze.
Because Cassidy in second, Dennis in third.
Maloney's up to P5 now. Good God.
Does anybody know how Zane Maloney has appeared in 5th place?
But it's a good job, definitely. He used his attack mode when not many drivers were on attack mode, so he definitely made the most out of it.
Do you think he was saving energy in the beginning and he built up a bit of a buffer and he came through? I have to say, I didn't catch his energy numbers, but that's very impressive from Zane Maloney.
It is, but it doesn't look like it's an efficiency race at the moment. It looks like they're driving flat out to the braking point.
There's a good battle going on for second place here, because Nick Cassidy coming under more pressure from Jake Dennis and from his own teammate Mitch Evans, who sneaks past Jake Dennis. So now the Jaguars are running right up there in second and third.
3rd place from last on the grid in 15 laps.
Okay. Where do you see that?
What's going on behind me? How many people taking what? You've got the next 3 cars behind you. You've got 1 attack left to take.
Dennis is still looking pretty. He's still got 2% more than all the cars in front of him. So he maybe, you know, he's in 5th place right now, but he has a good amount of energy in his pocket.
But look at the lead that Oliver Rowland's managed to build up with the attack mode. That's very, very impressive. He's got a big gap to the battle that's going on for second place. Nick Cassidy in second place with De Vries up there. He's
that's like 10 car lengths
as well. He was on the last row as well.
Here he comes. Oh, that's Wehrlein. He's still got over half of his attack mode from this iteration to go. Trying to get around the Jaguar.
You see that much action.
No, and
oh,
the
man.
guys are having to get pretty involved as well. You're on board with Pascal Wehrlein. He's still in this game, no doubt about it. He's in 4th place. His
2.5 second gap for Rowland.
Into 8th position.
You don't
so
see
Antonio
that
Felix da Costa is in this little group. And we'll see whether he can do something with that. But they are incredibly close. I mean, this could all change at any point, except the fact that Oliver Rowland has made that break.
I do wonder if we're going to see any tyre degradation coming in over the next sort of 10 laps.
Wehrlein's up to 3rd.
So hard, and we've heard all the drivers and teams say that tyres are going to play a big role in this race.
Yeah, there are 2 aspects with the tyres. There's a normal wear, meaning that you get less and less thread on the tyre, but then there's also the thermal aspect. So if you push the tyre too hard and it overheats, then you get less and less grip. But it doesn't seem like it's an issue for the drivers here. It's more of a longitudinal track.
Hold on. Rafa, you think Wehrlein is going to catch Rowland this lap?
He's now using the attack mode, and he's just moved up into 2nd place, and he's got a real chance now of catching Oliver Rowland, the race leader. And so we're coming back to the top 2 qualifiers, virtually about to race against each other. We can see the gap between them coming down all the time, that Wehrlein is using this 4-wheel drive attack mode. Look how much closer he is.
He made up 2.5 seconds. And
you can fire yourself out of the corners.
Good God.
We see Pascal
He ran him down in half a lap.
The four-wheel drive, as soon as you pick up the throttle, you have massive amounts of acceleration. You can still lift off and save energy at the end of the straight, but you're right.
Vorline retakes the lead.
So much faster.
First time since the race start.
Porsche, Da Costa also using the attack mode up into third place, and it looks like he's now going to be able to go past Oliver Rowland. But remember, Rowland himself has kept a lot of energy, the attack mode energy, for later in the race. He used it initially quite late in the race, stayed up front, and now we're going to change for the lead between the two Porsches.
Da Costa takes the lead. No, Vorline holds back on. They're opening for Rowland. Oh, Rowland's just going to take his attack mode. It's 6 minutes.
I thought it might be longer, but he's gone for a 6-minute attack.
I think he doesn't want to slip back into the clutches of the others. He knows how powerful it is. He needs to get back on it, get back to the front of the race, and keep himself in clear air.
That does make sense. Yeah, that lead group may well break away from the rest of the pack at this point, but let's wait and see. And I was fascinated there, Andre, to watch the battle between the two teammates. It's not over yet. Between Pascal Wehrlein, who's going to run out of attack mode much more soon than Da Costa. Da Costa going for it.
Quickly. Follow Pascal, follow Pascal.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's going to be interesting because...
No, don't follow him. Pass him if you can.
1 minute more attack mode left, and that's such a big delta in performance. Maybe this radio message is from one lap before, we don't know, and I think we'll see him in the lead in the next lap.
I think the exit of this corner, as soon as Pascal loses the attack mode, we've seen how powerful it is. There's no way Porsche can expect Da Costa to stay behind. It would be counterintuitive for the team, surely.
Absolutely, because the battles are coming from behind. We've got a bunch
Four
of
lines,
cars.
attack mode ends, Da Costa takes the lead, and here comes Rowland on Mortara for third.
Pascal Wehrlein has gone down to second place, but he's still very much in it. And Oliver Rowland in the red and white Nissan there, who was leading for a good section of the first part of the race, he's now got more of that attack mode energy than anybody else.
So he's going to be
Rowland is going to be an absolute beast as he takes second from Vorline.
He's on the Nissan powertrain, remember.
Oh, we got a car off. That's Dennis in the chicane.
Issue.
Is he?
Oh, that is a great shame because he has been running.
Is that going to screw Rowland's attack mode?
Dennis, and we thought that he was a definite, not
yellow
only
flag
potential,
out
but
in that
certainly
sector.
a potential podium finisher. But that is looking, as you say, there's been a technical problem with that.
Both of the Cooper Curos have now taken their attack mode as well.
Da Costa, who took more wins than anybody last year.
He took 4 wins last year, if I recall. 3 of them were in a row.
Oliver Rowland is going to be able to go on the attack in just a few seconds because Da Costa's about to run out.
Car's red. Car's red, man.
Uh-oh.
Copy. Low isolation.
Here comes Gunther trying to make a move on Vorline for third with attack mode. Here comes Rowland trying to make a move around the outside. He retakes the lead, and he's got 3.5 minutes more of attack mode at his disposal.
But there are yellow flags down at turn 1. I really hope that he didn't make that move where the yellow flags were.
That's a good point, if the yellow flags are down there. But Oliver Rowland has taken the lead once again, and he's still got more
red
energy.
flag! Oh my goodness.
So this red flag is, of course, because Jake Dennis had a red car. Now this, for everyone at home, this means that the car is unsafe. Nobody can touch the car. There's an isolation issue, so it's something that...
that is not something I see normally.
Yeah, you will see that maybe he has to jump out of the car without touching the car to the ground at the same
Dennis
time.
is
But it
now
also
plummeted to
means
We had to present a red flag. We have a red car on the track.
Red flag for Dennis. Car is unsafe.
Occasion, but this also means they're taking, if the race doesn't get restarted, they're going to take the position from the penultimate lap, which means Da Costa was ahead.
What?
So when it gets restarted?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Da Costa will start on pole then, you think?
Yeah, if they restart. Yeah.
Well,
exciting.
We shall see. It's going to be exciting. There's no doubt about it. But of course, how does it work with the attack mode? Because of course, under red flag, the clock is still ticking away. But I wonder if
so
they will reset
what's unfortunate for the drivers
think
under attack mode is that if they're in safety car or red flag conditions, attack mode continues to tick down. So if you take it at the wrong time, you might not even get to use it at all. Which, you know, I'm also going to point out both the worst team in the grid, Cooper Curo, has both drivers in the points, Dan Ticktum and David Beckman. I also see that Taylor Barnard is on pit road.
except for Nick Cassidy.
Yes.
Sorry for brief.
So is Sam Bird, maybe doing a tire change?
That is tough on Oliver, though, isn't it? For Oliver Rowland, you're looking there, number 23, the red and white.
You know, pitting under red flag is not something I'm particularly familiar with from any other racing series.
Because they had used it
Okay,
later,
well, I guess technically
and
you can do it in
decided
Formula
to
One.
go once
But,
again, and he was trying to pull away
okay.
and
Oh,
use
they're
it
all.
to
Never mind. They're
maximum
just all
effect, but
going
this
to
red
pit
flag has
road.
really hurt him on that.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't know if it hurt him
So-
so much because he's still in the lead of the race.
Yes.
I think, you know,
All right.
he's still in the
So
pole position.
looks like while this red flag, I'm going to go over the current lineup or the current running order. Currently in the lead is Oliver Rowland in the number 23 Nissan. Second, Antonio Felix da Costa in the number 90 in the number 13 Porsche. Third is Maximilian Gunther in the DS Penske. Number 7. Fourth is the number 1 Porsche for Pascal Wehrlein. Fifth, Eduardo Mortara in the Mahindra number 48. In sixth is Nick Cassidy in the Jaguar number 37. Seventh place is Stoffel Van Dorn in the number 2 Maserati. Eighth place is Nick de Vries in the number 21 Mahindra. Ninth place is Dan Ticktum in the number 33 Cupra Acuro Porsche. 10th place is David Beckman in number 3 Cupra Acuro Porsche. In the back half of the field, 11th place is Mitch Evans in the number 9 Jaguar. 12th is John-Eric Verne in the number 25 DS Penske. 13th, Zane Maloney in the number 22 Lola Yamaha ABT, or Lola Yamaha. 14th, Sebastian Buemi in the number 16 Envision Jaguar. 15th is Norman Nato in the number 17 Nissan. 16th, Taylor Barnard in the number 5 McLaren Nissan. 17th is Sam Bird in the number 8 McLaren Nissan. 18th, Jake Dennis, this is the part where we have cars that are out. Jake Dennis in the number 27 Andretti Porsche. So, from my memory, 19th would be Lucas DeGrassi in the number 11 Lola Yamaha. Out when because his car stopped after he missed a turn. 20th place is Jake Hughes in the number 55 Maserati, who crashed out, along with the number 51 of Nico Muller in the Andretti Porsche. And the car that didn't start, Robin Friends in the number 4 Envision Jaguar. What's the... Oh, he can't do that. Moment, I didn't... Oh, touching the car under... Oh, pitting under red flag. Okay, yeah, I know. So, we might be here a while.
Anyone, because that would have been quite a big shot.
It would have been, yeah, but thankfully, as you say, no contact was made. Well, what a remarkable first part of this race we've had, and we've now got a little pause before we get going for the second part, which will be a sort of final third of the race.
A whole third left to go.
Yeah, I know. And
7 cars still have attack mode, and 5 of them are the last 5 that are still running. That'll be fun to watch. And also good for the McLarens
look, 4 minutes
and Norman Nato, as they were behind the ball because of they had to do their a drive-through penalty for overpowering their car using too much energy. Going, I think. Yeah, using too much energy at once.
Ben, tell me, in all your commentator career, did you ever commentate a race with so much action?
It is incredible, and it's always hard to keep up because the number of places they gain.
You know, this guy would never survive at Daytona, the commentator.
Where suddenly you go from, I don't know, 7th to 3rd, or even then attacking for the lead, and it changes the order so much, doesn't it?
I mean, I've seen so much in this championship over the last 5 or 6 years that I've been involved, but I've never seen anything like this.
Just can't hold them off and they just get shuffled back. Should have made more progress earlier.
Well, I'm surprised to say that because he made a lot of progress initially. It was more the middle zone that it didn't quite work out.
I'm not sure he's aware that all of them have used their second attack mode except for him.
Ah, maybe that's part of it.
And his teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we're into for a great show for the whole season. This is like really impressive.
Here's the replay
Here's
again.
some action from earlier today where we saw Jake Hughes being a bit of an innocent victim here. He's just there on the outside. He touches the rear of the green Envision and just gets put straight into the wall.
It's actually the Lola. I don't know who it was. If it was Degrassi or Degrassi didn't leave enough space for Buemi there.
So attention everyone, the restart order has been shown on the screen.
Yeah, well, we're looking at that incident again, but we do now, as you said, see that Antonio Felix da Costa will start from pole.
Okay, so the restart order reverts back to the previous lap, just like old Formula 1 rules.
He lost the steering wheel, and that's why he ended up in the wall.
And actually, Andre, this year they've modified the steering system so that when a driver hits the wall, no
further action between the two cars that wrecked and are out of the race. I could never have guessed that would happen.
Yeah, we've seen incidents where the drivers hit their hands against
like, what's the point of that? Trying to penalize the drivers that have already wrecked out.
When they do hits at slower speed because the suspension doesn't brake, so it just steers the steering wheel in the cockpit. So they came up with a solution to put a damper that would basically damp those forces and protect the driver's hands. But it's not easy in Formula E because you need to be in control till the last moment. Maybe
also, Rafa, what do you think of the design of the Formula of the Gen 3 Evo?
From the steering wheel, but it's not like on a traditional racetrack where you see that.
There's Dennis. Both Andretti's are out of the race.
Didn't have time to see what happens,
so not a good start for the team in the season 11.
That's interesting because I've seen many drivers get their hands off the wheel just before they hit a barrier, but I can understand that when you're on these sort of tracks and it just happens in an instant, your hands are still on that steering wheel. I think it's been a good move that they've done over the winter to try and help the modification of those steering systems so that drivers' hands, if they are on the steering wheel, when it whacks the barrier, hopefully will not be damaged so much. I do feel for Jake Dennis, though, for the Andretti team, because he's been showing great pace this weekend, and he was very much up in that front order for a good part. But, yeah, whatever the technical problem was that took
everything behind the front nose I like.
Any points.
Side of the race, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. So yeah, you're looking good at the back, then the next. Yeah, okay, Misha's 1.11.
Okay, around the same as the Porsche, is that right?
Yes, same.
So there we go, Nick Cassidy and his engineer confirming to us that it's very much their race.
Well, possibly. He'll be starting in 6th place, which is a pretty good spot to be in. With the quick cars up ahead of you, but he's going to have that.
The front wing looks like a
advantage of extra power
rear
to
wing.
play
You mean
with,
like the international
and
hill
of
climb?
course his teammate also with a chance. He'll be starting from 10th place on the grid according to what we have seen for the starting order. I can just quickly go through it. So it'll be Da Costa on pole, Roland alongside on the front row. Pascal Wehrlein will start 3rd, the man who started on pole originally. He'll be starting 3rd. Max Günther will be starting 4th ahead of Eder Mortara. And then, as we mentioned, Nick Cassidy will be starting 6th. We're just looking once again at that moment when he went down at turn 1.
And that was
Jake Dennis. But it certainly did look as though, we're looking at it again from the onboard, definitely looked as though suddenly there was a technical problem on the brakes. But thankfully, as you guys mentioned, he managed to avoid everybody and sort it out. So that was the moment. Just quickly go through the rest of those positions. So we're going to see Stoffel van Dorn in the top 10 along with Dan Ticktum and Mitch Evans. Dan Ticktum's in a chance of still scoring some points.
Brake failure is on a street circuit is not something you want.
So that's going to be a bit tougher for the
there's the boy from Barbados, Zane Maloney.
Zane Maloney, who you're looking at there.
I don't like the Lola Yamaha car design just because they're trying to. They have both the Lola icon and the Yamaha icon. It's so an asymmetrical design.
He took his attack mode.
It's still an energy race, so it's still possible to overtake. So we need to be efficient, recover a bit of energy. As I said, attack mode at the moment is not so much of a concern other than for Cassidy, so he will be the one to watch out.
Yes, they are warning him now that Cassidy could be the one to watch because he does have some attack mode, whereas they don't.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know what they're going to be able to do about it because you have such drive off the corners with the 4-wheel drive. There's nothing they can do, Andre, is there? How are they going to defend from it?
You can defend better in the entry of the corner, but in the exit, you inevitably it's going to be a sitting duck compared to 4-wheel drive with extra power.
There's Roland, who was leading, but will start 2nd.
Jack's a bit lucky. How many minutes left of attack there?
Cass 4 minutes, Evans 4 minutes, and yes, you are right. They got lucky.
And he was unlucky because he was using his attack mode. Do you not feel like that,
He only
James?
had 2 minutes left.
I love how like the headquarters, like every team has their like own headquarter room. I love how the guy in the Nissan area looks like he's in a storage closet.
Really unlucky for him because he could have driven through and got a decent haul of points.
That is a good point, actually, and that does explain to me why Jean-Eric Vergne is a bit further down the list, because he'd waited a bit longer to use his attack mode, so that does make sense.
Oh, look, there's Jay Penske, the
team
principal for DS Penske.
of the DS Penske team, which was doing such a great job in the early part of the race, but it's going to be a little bit tougher for them now. Mind you, Max Günther will still be starting from 4th place, so they've still got some chances here.
That raises the question a little bit if we should open the conversation that if you take
What
an
is
attack
that?
and
The
you
yellow
can't
thing? Is it like a
use it
fan?
because of red flag or because of safety car, that maybe somehow in the systems you get that joker to use it again, because it's so influential to the race now. Yeah, and it's not your fault that the safety car comes out, right?
We didn't have that
Your whole
problem.
race.
No, we didn't have that problem the last few seasons.
Sylvain Philippi, team principal for Envision.
It definitely does open some questions.
Yeah, it's a big difference, the attack
Oh,
mode.
look, it's a DS
So
squad.
we're looking at Pascal Wehrlein. Let's listen in here.
Also, Pascal, just be aware. In case of red flag, there is a little bit of a situation regarding the lap counting in the car and what race control decides. So on the lap, on the restart lap, what will be behind safety car, it could be that I ask you to adjust the lap remaining, and it could be that I ask you to do some checks for me on the dash.
So for everyone at home, the car knows exactly how many laps there are until you reach the finish line. It divides up the energy that you have in the battery to make sure the drivers are aware with how much energy they can spend over each lap. Now, with this situation, as we just heard from
We might have added
engineer,
laps
it
still.
can confuse the car a little bit because you drive through the pit lane, it's a red flag, you've got a restart procedure.
Let me check,
so you do
though.
have a manual override as a driver. You can then adjust. Have you done that before, Andre?
Yeah, always.
No, he's regular
it's
son.
always the main conversation with the engineer
Brother
to
of
be on
Greg,
the right lap
I
target,
think.
because that exactly defines your energy. So sometimes you've seen in the past teams and drivers that were not on the right lap and they ran out of energy one lap before the end.
We had it with Oliver Rowland last year, didn't we? We had it with Oliver leading the race, sure to win it, and they got the lap count wrong.
Yeah, Buemi as well in Mexico. That was quite a show from him to complain on to the engineers how to get that wrong.
Yeah, well, very interesting to see how that plays out once we get into the restart of this race.
Fuck, the guy wearing a goddamn Lakers shirt in Sao Paulo.
To monitor the consumption, the recoup. So most of the teams, or every team, has
And
a crypto message
currently
popping
in
up on the
ninth.
steering wheel. So every lap, the driver is reading out, for example, Delta 2, X-ray 9. So the performance engineer or someone in the team types it into the software of the car.
When they
and
get
then
to Mexico,
all
the
information,
Cupra
for
Curo
example,
car
lap
will look
count,
completely
the
different.
consumption,
So this
the
is a one-off
recuperation,
livery.
and other little settings are coming out, and no one knows except from yourself what's going on. So sometimes you don't want to unveil what's going on in your strategy.
Okay, well, it's unpredictable, basically, isn't it? We just do not know what's going to happen when this race gets back underway.
When are they going to get back
Quite a
underway?
fascinating opening race to the championship. Let's just hope we can get them back on track soon. They're still having to sort out that
The
car, of
traffic
course,
on
Jake
the
Dennis,
highway by is
but
moving
hopefully
faster.
That shouldn't take too long. The PIF driver of the race will also be decided as we go through this race, as we get towards the end, and will be awarded. We'll wait to see, but we're waiting to see who's going to win as well as be the PIF driver of the race. Lots to look forward to in this final stage once they get going. This is a really great scene here in Sao Paulo. This is the carnival area where they do so many celebrations throughout the year, some wonderful displays. And then this is the third time that Formula E has come along to race in this section. It is a very typical Formula E road circuit, really. Quite bumpy in certain places, a little slippery, but the grip coming in more and more, of course, with the cars out on track.
Look how they have on the Lola
that is good
Yamaha, they
news.
have the
Zane
flags
Maloney,
for
we were just looking at
the UK
there.
for
He'll be
Lola
starting
and
down in
Japan for
13th
Yamaha.
place on the grid, having his debut in Formula E this weekend, and I wonder how it must be feeling to him right now.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, to be honest, in other racing categories, so it's probably a shock for him. I mean, for sure, he's been involved with Formula E. He was the reserve driver at Andretti, so he's been following up the races, but it's always impressive when you do your first Formula E race and to see so many overtaking, so many situations. But I have to say, he's doing really a good job to find his way through the field and not making mistakes.
This was Antonio Felix da Costa making up a bit of progress, but it was very close between himself and Pascal Wehrlein.
Well, they're teammates, and I think it looks like Pascal used a little bit the situation to save some energy and lift a bit earlier, knowing that
Roland taking the lead.
Antonio won't do anything stupid behind him.
You mentioned the yellow flags there. When Oliver Rowland overtook there, was it before they got to the yellow or not? That's
I think so.
It was before, but I think also going with the red flag, you know, you count back one lap as Andre correctly predicted, and Antonio Felix da Costa will start at the front end.
Yes.
I like the cherry blossom design on the Nissan cars.
Story from before,
just for you to know, we have received 0 warning for track limits. No warning for track limits.
Yeah, what's the
well,
question?
That's always good news, but Ollie Rowland's still going to be in the game when we get ready for the second part of this race. So everybody waiting, expecting to see a lot.
So this is a little hidden message to Oliver Rowland there, because I don't know what went on in the driver's briefing, but it could be that you only have 3 warnings for track limit, meaning that, you know, he has some jokers.
I have no idea. Maybe because the car, I think it's the car is unsafe to
let's go down
to even work on. I think was what
now,
they
because
said.
Nikki and Katie are there and can update us a bit with what's going on.
But you know, I don't blame you for asking. I don't know what's taking so long.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, well, we were promised a very dramatic start to the season, but I don't think anyone could have predicted this, that's for sure. I want to touch upon
the regen
how
failed.
we're doing actually at the moment, because they've really used attack mode to their advantage, properly moving.
Maybe I don't.
And now they're
I'm
going
not
to go
sure.
back out in P6 and P10, given the fact that Mitch was right down at the back of the grid at the start of this race. This is a real opportunity for them, Katie.
Yeah, and Mitch, I think at the beginning was thinking he wouldn't move up that quickly. So I think that they know as well that the luck is on their, not luck, but they have the...
Apparently, I'm hearing now the race will restart in 6 minutes.
And we know that the other teams are nervous about it. I think those...
We went to red flag.
Engineers and the drivers are really telling.
25 minutes, 20 minutes to go.
I think a lot of engineers are going to be looking at it and thinking what just happened and how do we learn from that and try and control the last 10 laps of the race.
So much to learn from this opening race, that is for sure. Let's hear from James Barkley, who is speaking to Alexa Rendell.
Thanks.
Now we're inside the Jaguar TCS Racing Garage, joined by James Barkley. And James, it feels like a very different tone to when I spoke to you this morning, now in a pretty good position. How do you see it?
Yeah, it's been a good first part of the race, but it's a long way to go yet, right? Long way to go. But the new attack mode is shakes things up quite a bit, really, as we expected it would do. So, yes, we've got some way to go. This red flag procedure is a bit of a reset for everybody. So we'll see how we get on in the second phase of the race.
Well, it felt like certainly at the start you got that attack mode strategy right. Was the plan always to go early with it and see what you could do?
We had some potential strategies up our hand, and it was a case of deciding which way we went. So I won't give everything away, but it worked really, really well.
Thank you, James. Best of luck with the rest of the race.
It's just amazing how quickly things can change in the world of motorsport. So Jaguar have a potential opportunity going forward. Massive commiserations for Andretti, though. There was so much opportunity. The pace that we saw from them in qualifying, things were looking really exciting for Jake Dennis there and for Nico Muller as well, his first race with the Andretti team. But, well, let's talk about the crash, first of all, with Nico Muller that took him out.
I know. I think it was such an unfortunate incident there. It wasn't really anyone's fault. It wasn't, you know, both drivers that were involved as well. Obviously, not just Nico was taken out in that incident. And I think the same for Jake, you know, no fault of his own, and yet both cars are retired for Andretti. The hard thing, I think, is the beginning of the championship has such a weight on your energy and the team's morale, and it really sets the tone for the rest of the year. So it's really horrible, I think, for them to start, and I do feel for them, because I'm sure that atmosphere in the garage right now is a tough one.
There's obviously been a lot of anticipation about the new Gen 3 Evo car, and it does bring so much incredible performance to the track and add so much to the race. But I guess, you know, that first race of the weekend, we're always going to have teething problems, aren't we, with a brand new car?
Yeah, exactly. I think we saw it at the beginning with a few of the overspeed penalties, and it was nice actually that they could sort of rejoin the pack after the safety cars, because obviously they had to come and serve them in the pit lane. But I think this is such a change for Formula E. As Andre keeps saying, we've never had racing like this. I think the drivers must be sitting there and thinking, what is happening? I don't know if they actually, I'm really interested to know if they have live data of who around them is in attack mode or if who behind them is. I don't think they do, because I think sometimes they ask their engineers, but that actually makes it really challenging, because you could be sat in 10th and have no idea that you're actually in with a chance of winning, or vice versa. So it's quite confusing, I think, for them to get their heads around.
Suddenly communication back to the engineer is going to be more crucial than ever before. We mentioned about Jake Dennis. Obviously, we saw him looking hugely disappointed when he had to get out of the car. He is now speaking to Alexa Rendell.
Yeah, I'm with Jake Dennis. And Jake, firstly, are you doing all right? And secondly, can you just talk us through what happened there?
Yeah, I'm just glad I didn't take anyone else out of the race. I don't think I did. I tried my best to avoid the cars in front of me while having no brakes. So that wasn't fun. And then, yeah, just a failure. We're not too sure what it is yet. But, yeah, pretty disappointing. We were like up on energy to, I think, every single car. We still had 4 minutes.
Both McLarens are now unlapped.
You guys can clearly see how potent that is. So we were looking really good for a top 3. The boys deserve better today. They gave me a good car all weekend. We haven't been outside the top 3, and we really deserved the podium. So, yeah, we're back, we're fast, and yeah, we'll come back for Mexico.
Actually, I want to bounce off that, because like you said, tough weekend for the team. Where are kind of the problems that you can work on from here? Is it the car, or is it just these little minor things that you need to tweak going into the next round?
Yeah, we just need to stop braking. We don't really know what the issue is right now, but we had an issue in Harama with a battery failure, and then here something else has failed. We're not too sure what it is yet. So yeah, we just need to see what the issue is, because yeah, as soon as we fix the reliability issues, then we'll be right on the top step.
I do just want to ask you, how potent has that attack mode been? What's it like out there trying to navigate through the traffic when you're in the attack mode?
It's chaos. You know, you're really trying to keep cars behind, but you have to be realistic, and if they've still got like 1 or 2 minutes left, you really can't keep them behind. So it's a powerful tool, but it's great to see. So yeah, from our side, for the drivers, I think we all enjoy it, and it's good fun out there.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate your time.
It looks like a lot of fun out there.
Race will be
now you can see
restarting
the
any
cars
minute.
are about to go back on track, so racing will be restarted in a few moments' time. Katie, what are we going to expect for these last few laps of the race?
You can't ask me that, Nikki. We've all been sat there speechless in the commentary box. I don't know. I'm assuming there's not any more drama and no more safety cars, but I think obviously the Jags are going to have a slight advantage, and everyone's going to be watching them and seeing them pick their way up the field, I think.
Yeah, Antonio Felix Costa, keep an eye in those mirrors, because the Jags are coming for you. Right, let's go back to commentary. Ben Edwards, Andre Lotterer and James Rosset.
So we're getting ready to see the cars come back out on track behind the safety car, and then we will get a call as to whether they will do a standing start or whether they will do a rolling start. That will come up in just a few moments' time to make that decision. But yes, it's going to be a very interesting, and particularly for Nick Cassidy, who you are looking on board with, who will be starting from 6th place, who will have attack mode, a decent amount of attack mode
10
to
laps
use
to go
in this
without
latter
added
part
laps.
of the race, which could give him the extra energy and the four-wheel drive to surge towards the front and maybe take the lead. Antonio Felix da Costa will be starting from the top spot ahead of Oliver Rowland, who's been battling away up front throughout this race. Let's listen to Pascal.
So behind the safety car, you stay very close to the car in front. That's already a little bit of saving.
So saving energy by being very close to the car in front, even when you're behind the safety car.
Yeah, we heard a message before that it's still an energy efficient race. So, you know, that's particularly the special thing about Formula E. You try to find the optimum in every little thing. You look for efficiency everywhere, even behind the safety car.
Okay, well, we shall see how this all works out, because they are about to head out onto the circuit, and then we will be going once again into the final part of the race any moment soon. The green lights on at the end of the pit lane. Away we go behind the safety car. Antonio Felix da Costa.
All right. Hi, Corbin Butler.
Pascal Wehrlein is in that group as well, with Max Günther, you were just riding on board with for a moment as they come back out. Sam Bird was actually sent around to do a lap because he pitted before everybody else pitted, so they made him just use up the energy level in the car to be at the same level. And look how close they are, not only to each other, but to the safety car.
Oh, he's trying to get some slipstream from the safety car, and you know, it's quite funny. They're in the same color, so now you know why the Porsche from the E-car is in the purple colors, because the Porsche Taycan Turbo S has got released in that color. So you see, good design feature there.
So there we are on board the safety car briefly, which is being followed so very, very closely. Bruno Correa, who is Portuguese, but actually he's lived in Brazil at times himself and raced in Brazil, but he has been the safety car driver for Formula E for quite some years now as he leads them around. We will have the whole group together. But remember, unfortunately, we have lost a few cars that will not be playing any part in this, and one of those was Jake Hughes, who we were
10 laps to go.
Very early out in this, and Jake Dennis, of course, who we heard from just now.
Yeah, a bit curious as to why some of the cars came out so late to rejoin at the back of the queue.
Yeah.
Normally you have to stay within a certain number of car lengths, and they're definitely further behind than they should be.
Sebastian Buemi, I wonder if would they have changed that front wing on Buemi's car? Would they have the ability to do that?
Yes, but that's also put him to the back.
Okay. So
safety car
standing
start.
It's going to be a standing start. So we have confirmation that it will be an all-new standing start.
As it's presented, there is a standing start.
Why have a rolling start when you can have a standing start?
You all go to the real grid. There is no dummy grid, so everyone to the final grid position.
That's good sense. They go straight to the grid and then get ready to go again.
So who's got their money on Oliver Rowland to get past the Porsche on the way down to turn 1 again?
I don't think it will be the same scenario as at the start of the race. I think you'll have a good start from both cars.
They will have four-wheel drive start again, won't they? Yeah. From the standing start.
Full power, even more power than when.
Oh yeah, they get four-wheel drive. Not only do they get four-wheel drive for the attack mode, they also get it for the start of the race. I don't really understand how it shuts off.
At the start of the race, then during the attack mode, so there's a bit of a power management there. But yeah, at the start, it's complete full power at the front and at the rear.
There's going to be 10 laps to go. The tyres, which we know are a little softer this year, but we haven't heard any comments really from any drivers on radio saying, I'm really struggling with my tyres. On this track, it seems to be working okay. And James, you're just pointing out a couple of cars with more energy than you expected to see.
Yeah, Taylor Barnard has got 5%, so almost 10% more than the rest of the field
he also has attack mode.
Moment, going
4
into
minutes
this final third of the race because he had to save so much energy early on.
Well, considering that he got unlapped,
so
the McLarens could come charging like a charging truck.
Behind. So the only chance to get back into the race is to save a lot of energy, just be at the back of the field and hope for another safety car. And so that is what's happening now. And so now they have a surplus of energy when the race is restarting.
And he does have more attack mode, doesn't he?
Exactly, as well. So he's got more energy and he's still got one attack mode to take. So we could see Taylor Barnard firing himself up the order from 15.
Sam Bird also has another opportunity to use attack mode. So watch the two Neil McLarens, the orange liveried machines, which are going to be starting down in 15th and 16th places, but also watch the Jaguars, which are starting from 6th with Nick Cassidy and 10th with Mitch Evans. It won't make a difference on the start. They won't have more power than everybody else at the start, but when they go into attack mode, once we're back to racing, that's when it could make a big difference.
And also another sign that it's going to be an energy race. You see, no one has tried to do a burnout rolling up to the starting grid position, so everyone is trying to save as much as possible in energy because there will be added laps.
There will be added laps, yes. We will update you on those when we can. The last few cars are just moving into position. Antonio Felix da Costa is on the pole position on the right as you look at it there. Oliver Rowland on the left. Behind them, Pascal Wehrlein, who did start from pole originally. Taylor Barnard, we were talking about, who's going to have some more attack mode to use. Both of the McLarens in good shape. We are just about to see the lights coming back on once again. Who is going to take the first victory of this new season in Formula E? We should find out fairly soon now. We're still waiting for the clearance to be given for the red lights to be coming on.
Everyone, the orange light is off.
Building up, we're building up. for the second time today in Sao Paulo in Brazil.
And we're green again.
Racing once again, and again it's a good start from Oliver Rowland, I think. Oliver Rowland in the red.
Here we come down to turn number 1. Rowland retakes the lead from Antonio Felix da Costa. Oh, there goes Gunther to second place.
Gunther moves up into second place, gets past da Costa, and da Costa's now going to be under attack from his own teammate, Pascal Wehrlein. So what a great start that was by Oliver Rowland.
Yeah, so they definitely have a really good traction control of the line, so they've proven it twice, so I was wrong.
I'll give another lap before I start plugging in the updated results.
It's almost an incident for Tina, particularly for Evans, but it thankfully was all sorted out. Nick Cassidy still in 6th place, waiting to use his attack mode, and Evans there, who nearly got involved in an instant, but he did well to avoid it. Oliver Rowland, now remember, at this stage, nobody's in attack mode. Let's listen.
Confirm laps before I go crazy.
Copy on it.
Confirm laps before I go crazy, because you can't use all your energy. That's basically what he's saying. You cannot use all your energy until you know how many laps there are going to be.
No, and as we touched on before, last year he ran out of energy before the finish line at a race. So
that was at Misano, where he was leading the race, ran out of energy in the last lap and didn't finish.
Now, are we going to see the drivers that still have attack mode available? Are they going to do it on this lap? If they do, you will see them run very deep into this next sequence of corners, and we were looking for the Jaguars in particular. Yes, one of the Jaguars,
Nick Cassidy,
not the other. So that's interesting. Cassidy goes into attack.
Not Mitch Evans.
Evans has decided to hold on a little bit longer. Drive through penalty
for Maloney.
That's Maloney. That's a shame, because we were hoping that he might be able to move up the order a bit, Zane Maloney, but he's got to drive through penalty.
McLaren and Orlando are taking theirs.
Right, it's time for Nick Cassidy to make his money. He's in attack mode. He can overtake all of these cars in front of him. Will he be able to make it happen, Andre?
Party time. So I think so. From what we've seen before with him, it's possible. He still has 3.5 minutes left. He's in P8. The field is quite close together, so let's see what he's capable of doing.
He's got to get past his teammate first, because he's dropped behind Evans. He goes down the inside and into turn 10. Yep, that extra power has given him the speed down the straight. And team orders also said, we're told apparently to Evans, keep out of the way, let Cassidy go. And of course that might be returned later on.
Maloney
Evans will
takes
also
his
be using
drive-through penalty.
Attack mode shortly.
Beckman's also on pit road.
Under investigation for overpower. This is something we saw strike down the other 3 Nissan powertrains earlier on in the race. He's in the lead and under investigation.
Oh, Lord.
My goodness. So Oliver Rowland, who's been so strong in this race, but is there going to be an issue there? Meanwhile,
please don't. He's my pick to win.
Who are using that attack mode. Sam Bird is moving up the order as well, using his attack mode. He's up into 11th place currently. How far can Cassidy get here?
Cassidy's still in 6th with 2.5 minutes left. He passes Eduardo Mortara.
Hunting ground for him and Jaguar.
Yeah, I think Rowland will for sure get a penalty. Maybe it's those superstars they're doing. Maybe they're overpowering on those starts.
Well, that's an interesting point, and it's a tough one, but keep an eye on that Jaguar with the yellow top, because that is Nick Cassidy with 2 minutes still with the attack.
I don't know if he's going to catch up to the front in time.
Through the order. Those cars that he's up against right now do not have any attack mode available, but he's got to make up a few more places.
You got basically 2 laps to make up the difference now. He's on the straightaway, which is a prime passing point. Cassidy passes Pascal Wehrlein. Fastest lap to Norman Nato.
As they come down towards turn 1, he's not going to make the move quite on Da Costa there. Da Costa currently still in 3rd place, but Cassidy in 4th.
That will happen right after this corner in turn 4. Extra traction, extra power, and now we see Mitch Evans going for it.
Yeah. Evans takes his 4 minutes of attack mode.
After having disappointing qualifying.
They are still going to get some good results. Nick Cassidy is up into 3rd place. Can he
Cassidy
now chase
passes
down
Wehrlein.
Gunther? Yeah, it might be 2nd place, because Oliver Rowland might get a penalty, so that could be changing. But at the moment, Ollie Rowland is still listed as our race leader with a gap of 1.6 seconds. But in some ways, as you say, James, this could actually end up being a battle.
1 minute.
Couldn't it?
It could very well be that this between Max and Nick is for the lead of the race. We don't know yet what's going to happen to Oliver with that investigation, but we should see Nick dive to the left right now.
Cassidy to the inside. He'll take 2nd place.
Cassidy takes it.
Could be the lead if Rowland gets penalized.
News indeed for Cassidy and for Jaguar, because he's got past the second.
And he's
place
pulling
car.
away. He might even pass Roland on his own.
Under an investigation. We do not know yet if there's going to be a penalty.
Fastest lap to Norman Nato again.
He's got past everybody else so far. He's only got under 30 seconds left of attack mode now. In the background, you see Mitch Evans, similar car, the white, the black, the gold livery, the Jaguar.
A lot of positions
Mitch
just
Evans,
got
who has
changed.
finished runner-up in the championship battles a couple of times in recent years. Well, that was Ticton running a little bit over the curbing, but this is going to be interesting to see where Mitch Evans gets to.
Yeah, a little bit of track limits there for Dan Ticton cutting the inside of the corner. But let's see what Evans can do. I'm sure we're going to see
got 2.5 minutes up to 7th.
Have a look at the traction he's got with the four-wheel drive compared to the cars that are not in attack mode.
Here we go. He's attacking Eder Mortara, and yeah, Mortara can't do anything. He can't even defend, really, can he? He just has to keep out the way.
No, but what a brilliant thing the attack mode is this year with the four-wheel drive. It's added such a new dynamic to the racing.
And what I also like is that everyone knows they don't have a chance to defend, so it's really reducing the amount of incidents because there's no point defending.
Here we go, he gains yet another place, and now there's a little battle going on between Costa and
Ooh, that's so close. Evans trying to squeeze around Maximilian Gunther.
Wow, this is all coming together.
Whoa, look at that run right there. Passes 2 cars on the front straightaway. Evans up to 3rd. Jaguar power cannot be underestimated.
Yeah. Incredible. Listen to Roland. Oh, no, I thought we might hear something about... Oh, now we may.
Oh. I can't hear anything. Oh.
Yes, mate.
Drive-through penalty for Oliver Rowland. Overpower in the Nissan is going to cost him the race.
Oliver Rowland, and that means that Jaguar are running 1 and 2.
Who would have bet on this happening?
Oh, God.
Unbelievable.
And let's see if Mitch Evans is going to challenge Nick Cassidy for the lead.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
1 minute of attack mode left, and when you see the performance delta, he's really close, so he might even win this race.
And the team did get them to swap earlier, so what happens now?
Well, we're going to find out how much James Barkley learned after the disaster of last season.
I'm going to have to try to work overtime to fix all the...
there because there's just too much performance delta. You will see...
I don't know where
Mitch Evans passing Nick Cassidy
Roland is going to drop to. Roland now on pit road.
This is fascinating. You're on
Here it comes. Got 30 seconds left for Mitch Evans to try and make a move. We got added laps. 4 added laps.
his teammate Nick Cassidy's got the...
Here comes Mitch Evans to the inside of the number 37, number 9 Jaguar. Mitch Evans takes the lead here at Sao Paulo. He's got a win and a 2nd place here, going to be the first repeat winner at Sao Paulo.
Or will they say, no, you just stick that way, guys? You are 1st and 2nd. We'll have to wait and see.
Unbelievable turn of events. Who would have thought that this was going to happen?
From the back of the grid.
We have 7 laps to go.
Mitch Evans taking the lead. Incredible.
What a show. This is really impressive. And now the game is done.
All right.
And we've been given the extra laps. We've been given the extra laps, and look now, there's a chance to fight back for Cassidy.
Wait, we're the cost is already back there?
There's 5 laps, 6 laps to go. Anything can happen.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe we get excited a bit too quick because, yeah, the Porsches have a very efficient powertrain and they're...
Yeah, so we're getting told about the drive-through penalty for Roland. He's back in 12th place, and that also is the least amount of energy at 16%.
Yeah, anything can happen still. This is an amazing race, the way it's all been working out.
And shout out to Taylor Barnard as a rookie, running 7th.
This is now Sam Bird and Taylor Barnard having started quite down.
Incredible amount of energy. Here comes Costa. He gets to 2nd place. Can he take the lead? Oh, it's going to be side by side through the chicane. Oh, man. Good stuff. Whoa. 2 by 2 wide through the hairpin. Oh, I love this. I love this series so much.
He managed to pull away another length or 2. Meanwhile, Barnard's gone ahead of Sam Bird.
Oh, 3 wide.
There is Bird on the left.
Oh, we got contact. Oh, we got a car on the wall.
There's Gunther in the wall there.
Gunther. Oh, man.
Big crash.
Holy.
There for I think it was one of the Porsches. I really hope it's okay. I think I saw a car upside down. I did.
What? Holy crap. We got a car upside down.
And it is at front. Mitch Evans from Antonio Felix da Costa.
It's Vorline. Cassidy was in the wall. Vorline is upside down. Red flag again! Holy crap!
I have no idea. I think Evans was
Good
first,
God!
but I don't know the order behind. But Taylor Barnard is currently in 3rd position.
Wait, Barnard in 3rd? And he's got the most energy.
He's just driven through everybody.
Holy crap!
We may be going back a lap, so I rather
Good God!
get third
Man!
place on the final if this is
God, and I can replay this race later on Roku. Oh, man.
The drivers who have been involved in an incident are okay. That's the main thing we just need to be aware of at the moment. With two
I love this series so much.
on that last section that we saw, Fairline and Cassidy, I believe. We haven't actually seen anything, but I know they've both dropped positions, so I presume it's those that are involved.
Yeah, the priority is for sure that Verlaine is okay. I think he's okay. The impact was not so big. It's just
They already got the cars on pit road. We still have
have
6 to go.
It's just very spectacular, but I think he might still be in the
No, I did not see the flip. I saw Cassidy in the wall. I need a running order.
Well, we will find out. There is Antonio Felix da Costa, who's been in that battle up front. My goodness, what a remarkable few laps that was. Just trying to work out who was going to be coming through next.
With the pack racing that we saw, I mean, we haven't seen that.
This is
all
not
race.
pack
And
racing.
Suddenly, everyone was together.
Well,
Everyone
not in
was
the
jockeying
same
for
way
position. They
that
went
it was
3 or
before.
4 wide, and we're all the concertina effect. They all got caught out in turns 4,
All right.
5, and then we just
All right,
saw
time to fix the
Gunther
running
in the
order.
wall, and then Pascal, unfortunately, upside down. I really hope he's okay.
Yeah, it was inevitable at some point, you know, when you have so many cars going for it at the end of a race, it's always like this, it heats up in Formula E, and then eventually it's not enough space for everyone. But yeah, as you said,
So Vorlainen
saw
is
a little
out.
bit how the car jumped off and then probably clipped the front wheel of another car, and that catapulted him in the air. And now it's going to take a lot of time for the car to be
I missed the
recovered. I
flip
don't know how he
itself.
can get out of it, so it's let's see, there's no image at the moment, but hopefully he's okay.
Okay, well, hopefully we will find out.
Wait, Roland's
that
back in the
we just need
points
to know.
after that.
So
Good
just
God.
waiting to find out if they're okay. We will not see any action until we know that they're okay, but we'll find out very shortly.
There are currently 3 cars in the top 6 that have served a drive-through penalty.
Right.
Barnard, Bird, and Nato.
Amazing. Yeah. True. And you know, the fact that the car that has crossed the line first is the one that started last, and yet we're not 100% sure on what the result will be if they have to go back a lap. We think that would still be the case, but let's wait and see.
The big question now is, are they going to decide to restart the race?
Exactly, that is the big question, because in theory there's another 6 laps.
Oh, I hope so.
Still
Come
due to be
on.
raced.
Restart the race. I want to see that if they can get the car.
75% of the race.
So currently P3.
Barnard getting a podium. That would make
So
me
if we
so
do get a
happy.
restart, then he will be starting from 3rd place on the grid.
And we know how good the Nissan powertrain is at a start. And he has a Nissan powertrain.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to get a penalty again, though.
Maybe they haven't gotten Vorlainen out of his car, which is why we haven't seen the replay.
But imagine Taylor Barnard as a rookie winning a race. The first race of the season. It's a real possibility.
God, I hope. Barnard is my favorite driver this year.
Is powerful on the
Because I saw how good he was in Formula 2 and Formula 3, winning races with the worst teams in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we shall wait and see.
So I've just heard that Pascal is okay.
Okay, Vorlaine's out of his number 1 Porsche.
And I believe, because we know they're okay, I think we are going to actually get a chance to see what happened.
So there were 3 cars that had that hit something. Like Gunther hit the wall, Cassidy hit the wall, and Vorlainen flipped.
You're just looking at Sam Bird at the moment, currently 4th under this red flag situation with his teammate Taylor Barnard 3rd. So these two made a huge run up through the order thanks to using the attack mode that they had, even though they started nearly at the back, not quite, but near the back.
All right, here we go, replay.
Okay, here we go. Let's have a look, guys, at the.
So yes, Gunther hits the wall, and then.
And it's Pascal Verlaine right at the front there.
Oh my God! How? Man, he just ramped up on the Jaguar. Well, no, that's not accurate. It's like the Jaguar ran. The Cassidy kind of ran Vorlainen into the wall, and the result of that caused the car to ramp up on its side. That's Gunther.
Yeah, that was the separate one that happened further up the order.
Yeah,
Let's see if we can find. Yeah, there you go.
Damn!
Yeah,
Holy shit!
and Wehrlein that made the
that
contact.
thing just...
And it's something we've seen in single-seater racing, Andre, many years when it's tyre to tyre, but you don't see it as often when it does happen. There's nothing, just nothing you can do.
You know what happened? I think
that's whack.
The damage in the steering from the previous incident. We went around the corner.
Cassidy's got to be out too, right? I mean, he ran into 2 cars. I mean,
That's a very interesting
penalties
point. So
aside, like that car can't be working properly. Oh my God, that looked so brutal. Right, that car slammed right into the. It slammed right into the catch fence, top first.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Calvin, the race is a red flag.
Yeah, Halo first in the catch fence.
The reigning champion, the man who has been in great form all weekend,
Like,
and was
that
really
made me
in
think
that
of Dan
battle
Weldon.
potentially, certainly for
Another
a
guy
start
trying to
for a
get. And there.
podium. But so sadly, that car has been flipped upside down. It was lovely to hear on radio him saying
Is
he's
that
okay.
Gunther's car?
That's the main thing, of course.
Oh, I guess Gunther's out of the race.
But with all the action, we completely forgot to mention that there were 4 added laps to the race. So, yeah, again, the big question is, are they going to restart the race or not? If not, he's still in the point.
Max
Or maybe he is back in the race. Still in the race.
Contact with the barrier, so they are changing that. But as you say, we're not knowing yet. But we are being shown a starting order after red flag.
So it looks like they're going to restart the race.
Yep, it looks like we're going to be
Works
back
for
to
me.
racing in a little while, and it looks like we will have a few more laps with Mitch Evans starting from pole position.
Yeah. Now I wish you lived in Sao Paulo so you could have seen this
we are
live.
getting later in the day here in Sao Paulo than we were expecting, with the race still going on because of various red flag periods, but we have still not determined who is going to win this race.
Well, the restart order has been shown, but several of those cars have damage.
Yes. Nick Cassidy, for example, who has been shown as 3rd on the starting order.
And Max Gunther in 4th. I believe I saw him earlier.
Okay, so the restart order, as before, defaults to the previous
which
lap.
Will automatically move him to the back.
And I think also Nick Cassidy, he's theoretically starting 3rd, but from the damage we've seen that he has, he's probably in the pits now, and with the team trying to fix the car, but I don't think they will be able to fix it. He's got steering damage, suspension damage.
Okay, well, I gather that Pascal Wehrlein is still in his car as they're going to turn it over, which sometimes is the better way to get out of the car when it's upside down.
Yeah, not easy to get out of the car upside down, and yeah, the cockpits are fairly restrictive, and trying to get yourself out of it whilst it's upside down, not ideal. So glad to see the safety crew doing the right thing there.
So Taylor Barnard moved back to 5th place, so that was the position of the penultimate lap, but he has an energy advantage, so he can still move up. And as mentioned before, you know, the slipstream effect is quite strong when you saw like how Da Costa overtook the Jags.
Yeah, it's turned into a real energy race, hasn't it? And now we're going to see
And
a lot of
Barnard
slipstream
has the
going
most
on,
energy.
jostling for position, see who can get it right.
I gather that Pascal Wehrlein is just getting out of his car now, so that's good news. He is okay, but a great shame that that incident happened between 2 of the real front runners in this race throughout, Nick Cassidy and him. But as you said, it certainly came from another incident a little before. And when you have incidents and accidents against barriers and damage to cars, it's more likely to cause more problems.
Yeah, because normally when drivers are side by side, just with 2, they're very good now at feeling the spatial understand the spatial awareness and leave each other space. So that in a normal situation that would have not been a problem. But you know, in the corner before there were three across, and when there are 3, it doesn't work out, and then there's damage and contact.
Well, Max Gunther, as you mentioned, was part of that with contact, but they've put a new front wing on that car, so there is still a chance that he's going to be running at a decent pace, but he will be down at the very, very back of this this grid. If we get the race restarted, which is what they're hoping to do, he will actually be the last starter, down in 15th position. Oh, and it looks as though Nick Cassidy, as expected, will not be making the start of the race. He's out of the car, and the team are not doing any work on it. So Nick Cassidy, who's been listed as starting from 3rd place, will not be restarting this race. His teammate, though, Mitch Evans, probably will be. Now, Pascal Wehrlein is out of the car, as we can see.
fairly gingerly getting out of that car. I really hope he is okay. I mean, with all the adrenaline, you know, we heard the radio message where he was telling the engineer is okay. You want to let the team know that you feel okay. But as things calm down and the adrenaline levels lower, you probably realise you're in quite a bit of pain, because that was a big accident.
Yeah. Even if he's fine, it's still a big impact. We're a bit surprised. I would like to know how many G's he hit there, because that wall doesn't move. So yeah, and that was also a long time to be upside down in the car. You know, like it's all the blood going to your head. So maybe he's even a bit dizzy.
No, I totally understand that. But it is sometimes tricky getting you out. You're fully harnessed in, strapped into the seat very safely. To actually get out when the car's upside down, it can be quite difficult to do that. So I think they've done the right thing, turned it back up the other way, and now he's got out. But yeah, I do feel for Pascal Wehrlein, the reigning champion, who seemed to be on great form this weekend. It's interesting in Formula E how champions have nearly always had seasons the year after they've won the title where things haven't really gone right for them. And this first race has certainly, even though he's been showing great pace, and until that very moment, sadly, it hasn't started so well for him.
It's still a long season, so they can definitely recover. They have a good powertrain, but yeah, the only back-to-back champion is Jean-Eric Vergne.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the other ones, especially in recent years, have had quite tough times. Jake Dennis had a bit of a tough year last year after winning the title the year before, so you're absolutely right. Vergne has managed it, but we shall see. Vergne will be restarting this race. He's going to be starting down from 11th place. It really is quite unpredictable how this is all going to work, because you do wonder. I mean, Antonio Felix da Costa, there you are looking at him in the other Porsche. He's been looking very competitive throughout. He will be starting from 2nd place, up against the Jaguar of Mitch Evans. And what will happen is, a few will move up, won't they? Taylor Barnard, for example?
Yeah, with Cassidy clearly retiring from the race, Barnard should start in 3rd position.
Yeah.
We touched on earlier how much energy he still has over and above the competition. And starting from 3rd, rocket ship Nissan powertrain off the line, more energy available than others. Let's see what the rookie's made of.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do. But for example, for Da Costa, that could be a change of dynamic in the team, because last year he started off the season so bad with 0 points in the first races, and then he had to race for Pascal Wehrlein, but now could be the opposite.
Let's have a look at the replay again.
All right.
Once again.
Watch it again.
Cassidy, I think, gets... there might have been a bit of contact with Wehrlein.
Look at Barnard go.
Yeah, there was a slight touch there, isn't there? Between Wehrlein and
Cassidy. That's Bird. Okay.
Oh, I see, there. Sorry, that was Günther. That was Günther initial.
Yeah, Cassidy's compromised there, isn't he? His front axle is not, he's not turning the way that he would normally turn, and he's not one for doing anything dirty on the racetrack. So yeah, you can see there the impact on the front left and the front right of his car, and he can't turn.
You could see, oh my goodness, look at that.
I wonder what Wehrlein's camera was like.
I think Pascal was lucky he hit the wall and not the fence.
You know,
because
if that car was airborne for just a little longer, Wehrlein would have landed on Cassidy.
As you say, we don't think his steering's now going to be working properly as he turns right.
Oh yeah, he couldn't turn at all.
Yeah, that was a really strange system. Didn't even seem to be going right, but he was going to go straight into the barrier himself almost. That was a very strange one. Then we saw
Cassidy's climbing out. I guess he's done.
And the race is all over for him. And it's not the start of the season that he would have liked either. He wouldn't have wanted to be involved in a situation like that. Max Günther was all sort of part of that right from the beginning, wasn't he?
Or is that Günther? No, that's Cassidy.
They were all bunched up.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to find who to blame. You know, it's part of Formula E racing, to be honest.
Part of all racing.
You know, at some point you have your spatial awareness here and there, but then
once you climb out, you're done.
Or 3 across, it's just inevitable.
Race console speaking.
Well, the good news is that the drivers are okay. That's the main thing.
As soon as I will know the restart time, we will present it on the screen to make everyone aware.
Okay, so we are going to have a restart. That's good news to hear. We've still got a race to go.
These races, I think, are supposed to be an hour long. We've now hit the hour-and-a-half mark.
Like, I haven't seen so much action in a while. I mean, Formula E was always about action in the race, but this is like another level.
But we're starting with 5 laps to go, Andre, and I can't predict who's going to win. It's 5 laps to go of a race.
Are we going to get through 5 laps without another red flag, do you think?
I think so. Well, actually, that's a brave assumption.
There's a lot of pressure on everybody, isn't it, when you get into a kind of restart with 5 to go?
the interesting part will be to see how Taylor Barnard is going to be make use of his extra energy, and I think he can drive a flat-out race. Like, I think the cars in front still have to manage energy, meaning that they need to lift and coast, and he's there. The pack will be together, and he can stay flat out. So the guys in front will try to defend, and he will come with overspeed, so we might see even more action.
Let's look, we've got a bit of radio coming in.
Just out of interest, what was the order when the red flag was shown?
So, red flag, you were actually up to P3, P4, but on the countback, the way this is going to restart, Gunther's in the garage, so Taylor will be restarting P4, you are P5.
Who's third?
Obviously, that's a really great position for us to be in, so we need to just look after each other. With what happened earlier, let's just talk about it after the race. Let's just think about best thing we can do for the team here is to try and protect as much points as we can. Okay, mate, so we're in really good position on this restart, both cars.
Okay.
I think that was a message to Sam to say, do not fight with Taylor.
Yeah, or be sensible. Like, if there is a move, then it has to be a good one and clear without risk.
And as a driver, Andre, would you prefer a clearer instruction?
Nick Cassidy's getting back in the car.
What?
This is interesting. So Nick might actually be making the restart of this.
Really?
race.
Come on.
They found a way to fix the car quickly.
You wrecked
They
two
must have fixed
people.
something on the
I
front
mean,
axle there.
not
You can see them
not
getting to
necessarily
work.
intentionally, but
Nick back in the car. We haven't had a starting time already sent out to us, so they should have enough time to fix it. He will start at the back, but as we've seen, anything can happen.
What a roller coaster.
He will start at the back, for sure, do you think?
He will have to start from the back, because the way it works is if you go into the garage and have work done on your car,
Fair
it's
enough.
the time that you're put back into the pit lane dictates the order that you're in. So we've seen Max Gunther have his front wing replaced and some other things. We saw him, I think they even changed tyres maybe on the rear of his car. And now you see all the work going on in Nick Cassidy's car. They're going to try and get him back out there.
Okay, well, it's interesting that they did bring him in, but they obviously had work to do, because otherwise he could have started third. But as you say, according to the rules, if you've come in, that will drop the position back. But it will mean that Taylor Barnard will therefore start from third place, and Sam Bird will start fourth.
So they changed his tyres as well.
Okay.
So he might have fresher tyres now than the rest of them, even if he starts at the back.
Would they be going back to tyres that they perhaps used for the practice sessions? Or?
Yeah, not that fresh. They did 2 free practice sessions with it, so maybe equal mileage.
Because you only get 2, just to remind everybody, you only get 2 sets of tyres for the whole weekend.
But I don't think you're pushing so hard as in a race. Are you, Andre?
Free practice. I mean, you're doing full push laps.
So maybe
more risks, or maybe more heat cycles through the tire, which is not always a good thing.
True. There you go. So Taylor Barnard now officially starting, or the restart for the third time, in third place.
Exciting.
What an exciting moment for a rookie. I mean, he's had a roller coaster of a day. Good start. Back to the back of the drive-through.
On the screen. The restart time is on the screen as well, so it's 15.
5 minutes to the restart.
I would like to ask you shortly to move on and follow the safety car.
All right, so we are going to get a restart. We've just been given that news at 3:47 local time, and we'll see how this all goes and whether, presumably, they'll do another standing start. They haven't confirmed that yet, but they will do. And we shall see how this all works out. Mitch Evans is likely, well, he will be starting from up front. It'll be Mitch Evans versus Antonio Felix da Costa, with Taylor Barnard and Sam Bird for Neon McLaren starting third and fourth. And then behind them, Edo Mutara for Mahindra and Norman Nato for Nissan be starting in 6th place. Nick de Vries will be starting in 7th, ahead of Dan Ticktum in the Cupra Giro. And 9th place will see Oliver Rowland, who was so competitive in the early part of this race, but then had a drive-through penalty. He will be starting in 9th position. Jean-Eric Verne, who was also very competitive earlier on in the race, he'll be starting in 10th place, ahead of one of his great rivals, Stoffel van Dorn, who starts in 11th place. Sebastian Buemi starts in 12th.
Me neither.
Zane
I didn't
Maloney
expect a
down in
race for this
13th
either.
place. Max Gunther all the way down in 14th because of the work done on his car. And Nick Cassidy, similar, he's been pushed down to 15th place after
Okay,
that
so,
work they had to do on the car.
Advise your driver to move on and pack up behind safety car, according to the order which is presented on the screens.
And that is the order I've just been talking about. Nick Cassidy, 15th, and the final car to make the start will be David Beckman. So that's the way it's all going to be going for the final, what we hope is the final start. I do wonder if they get any more laps in, whether they would actually give them another restart. Normally, once you get into the final few laps, if it gets held up, then they might call an early start, early finish. But let's wait and see. And in a few moments' time, those cars will be coming back out on track, following the safety car, and then we'll presumably see them come back onto the grid one more time. I think the fans are enjoying themselves. For the fans here in Sao Paulo, there's been a lot to absorb and watch and catch up on, and we still have a very unpredictable opening race in this season.
Well, I hope everyone's taking the opportunity to grab a quick cup of tea before we go back to racing, because it's about to be action-packed all over again.
It is. We shall see. Yeah, there is Nick Cassidy, who will be starting from quite near the back of the field now, and Ollie Rowland, who, well, there's frustration for him, but there's still a chance to score some points. The fact that we've only got 16 out of 22 cars that will now be making the restart. 22 cars started originally, of course, but we've lost 6 of them for a variety of reasons, and we're down to 16. Top 10 score, of course, with the normal scoring system, 25 points on for the race win. 3 points were also scored for pole position in Formula E, of course, by Pascal Wehrlein, but Pascal Wehrlein sadly will not be taking part. We've got just under 3 minutes to go before the safety car heads back out of the pits and leads them around to the grid. And we are expecting it to be another stationary start once again.
Another standing start.
Four-wheel drive system to zap them down towards the first corner, and they're just all now beginning to get into order, as you can see, as they come down the paddock area, to make sure they then come out in that correct order. So, lots to look forward to still. Not a long race. Right, I am just hearing it is going to be a rolling
start.
So
Okay.
It will be another standing start, but apparently...
That's bitterly disappointing. I was ready for more of those cannonball starts, Andre.
Well...
James making fun of me because I've been using that expression since the beginning of the weekend. But
Cannonball
it is
start.
What it is. It's a cannonball. It's starting.
Okay, everyone,
the cars are going from 0 to 100 under 2 seconds. That's faster than any race car, and then faster than Formula 1.
Yeah, no, you're right. He was just confirming, sorry, that it was under 2 minutes to go to the start of the race. But yeah, a rolling start this time. That does make a little difference, there's no doubt, because we've seen this side-by-side action going down into turn 1. With a rolling start, you've got to be following each other as you cross the line.
Well, we've got an energy race, so whoever's going to lift first is going to be overtaken, and no one knows where the other person's going to lift as they go down to turn 1.
So that energy they're going to use to stay flat out, to protect their position to turn 1, is going to cost them for the rest of the lap. So it's even going to make the life of Taylor Barnett better for the rest of the race. So
Barnard still has the most energy.
They're going to arrive at higher speed in turn 1 as well compared to the standing start. So it can be even a bit more messy because the whole pack's going to be together at higher speeds.
Okay, that's a very good point. And the fact that we've got the 2 Neon McLaren drivers on that second row, well, not second row because they'll be actually one behind the other, but into that battle going down, and with a little bit more power, we believe, than the others. Yes, that's going to be fascinating to see how they can make use of that.
Yeah, and remember, you're not allowed to overtake before the start line, so let's see if someone can time it well and judging exactly the slipstream and send it into turn 1.
Yeah, I totally understand that. It's a game to play with, isn't it, on a restart? You've got to get it right. Well, we shall see how Mitch Evans deals with it. He's a very experienced driver. He's had great performances here in the past. He's had a first and a second finish here. He's got a real chance of getting another victory here today from starting at the very back.
Let's not forget, though, he got overtaken with 2 corners to go last year.
Yes.
He's currently starting with 5 laps to go in the lead, but I'm not sure he's going to be the one crossing the line first.
How would you do the restart? You would start to accelerating before last corner, or actually keep a constant speed until the line and just accelerate a bit before to you dictate the time and protect yourself for turn 1?
All right, we're going again.
I think you could be onto something there. I think I would go for the late restart and catch the rest of the pack out by just going slowly, because the leader can dictate the pace. So Mitch can dictate the pace as he approaches the start-finish line. He can choose when to accelerate.
Exactly.
Well, let's see, guys.
Us on the screen,
And
we will have rolling start. We will have rolling start.
5 to go.
And he's had plenty of time to think about what he's going to do.
Yep. If we're thinking about it, he's thinking about it.
Well, they're all coming out now, and we are getting ready for this final sequence. There is the order that they are running, and there's the power. Look at the power difference, and it is Taylor Barnard.
Almost 4%, over 3% above the cars in front of him, which percentage-wise compared to them, what's left, is massive. It just looks like 3% on the screen, but it's way more more than that in reality.
And I should be referring 3-4 laps to go. That is
absolutely
a big delta of energy if you divide it onto those next 3 laps.
Yeah, and energy, of course, is the right word, not power. This is electric energy. We're talking about the amount of electric energy that they have left. But Taylor Barnard is the one with the most of that available. You were just looking at him very briefly there. He will be starting of the first of the 2 of the neon McLarens, the black and orange livery. So that one there, that has got the most energy for the restart of this race. Now, it will be done as a rolling start. The safety car's already beginning to ease away, and Mitch Evans beginning to slow the pack down. That's his job as the race, the man who will be starting the race up front. He controls the pace. He controls when he goes for it as the safety car starts to head back towards the pits. And then we're into the final stages of this remarkable first race of season 11 with these Gen 3 Evo Formula E cars using 4-wheel drive attack modes has been remarkable. They don't have that left now. I think everybody has used their attack modes, although actually I just see that Buemi, I'm not sure he has used all of his, but in terms of the energy left, we can see there are some changes too.
So now that's also a strategic point, because he can dictate the space and maybe driving us.
Okay, energy on the screen, so you're approximately 3% up.
Slow down the
cars
pace like that. That might give
so think about everything we've said.
Here we go, guys.
All right, here we go. Green, green, green here at Sao Paulo.
With added laps as well, 4 added laps. So we've still got plenty more.
Wait, they added another 4 laps? No, we didn't.
The race leader. He's under attack from Antonio Felix da Costa as they come down into the first corner, but it's all pretty straightforward so far. Third place, Taylor Barnard in the Neon McLaren, chased by Sam Bird, who won this race last year. So the extra laps had already been added, so we know it is still 4 laps to go, basically. That was all had already been added to the list. And look at Buemi, who is using attack mode. So Buemi's down in 14th.
2 minutes. Let's see what he can make up.
A few places, but whether he's going to be able to battle for the lead, I rather doubt that. It's Mitch Evans for Jaguar, ahead of the Porsche of Antonio Felix da Costa. Then the 2 Neon McLarens.
There's a bit of contact going on in the back there.
Oh, I heard it. A crinkle.
Flying in the air. Let's hope that this doesn't cause any,
another
any more
one,
yellow
please.
flags. But Taylor Barnard is sat in a great place, and the maturity of the young man, the young rookie right now, he's sat there, he knows he can let the 2 in front fight, and it's just going to put him in a stronger position as the laps count down.
Yeah, you're right. He's getting himself into a good position here, isn't he? In 3rd place, up against these 2.
I think we're going to see some overtaking in turn 1 thanks to the slipstream effect. Da Costa for sure is going to try to make a move. And energy management doesn't seem to be too much of an option. I think the driver's going to lift a bit, but it's almost at a non-overtaking level.
Look at the battle between these 2 top racers with the youngster right behind them. What an opportunity this is for Taylor Barnard, but he's got his teammate Sam Bird there as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to find it hard to overtake the 2 drivers in front, even with the extra energy, because it doesn't look like the drivers have to lift off that much.
Oh, look at this, Da Costa going one way than the other, trying to take the lead from Mitch Evans. Evans controlling it beautifully.
Oh!
Taylor can go, he can win this. He's got to go, though, because I'm going to get pressure from behind if he doesn't.
Yeah, that's a good comment from Sam Bird. He says they tell Taylor to go for it because he can win this. He thinks there is a chance for Taylor Barnard. We've got a yellow flag up there. Oh, no, a warning flag.
That's for the front wing that came flying off in the last lap.
Okay, so they're keeping out of the way of that. But it is still the battle that is going on. We're on lap 33 out of 35. We're getting towards the end of this race. Mitch Evans, can he control it this time? When he lost the win in the penultimate corner, that corner there, last time they were here, that was in March, same year, but last season.
Taylor needs to use his energy right now. He needs to stay full throttle all the way to the breaking point.
2 laps to go.
He has such a unique opportunity.
Let's see, can he make it work? Taylor Barnard, the youngster, into his first full season. He has raced Formula E before, but to go into this, well, he doesn't do it on this lap, that's for sure. He's still holding on to 3rd.
So there are strategies for the drivers to try to not be overtaken in turn 1.
Evans still lifting, T4. And T7.
So the way you don't get overtaken in turn 1 is...
Ooh, Da Costa trying to move. Blocked by Evans.
Is more difficult to get to overtake and easier to defend and save the energy there, so you allow yourself to stay longer flat down in turn 1.
Oh, this is still close, though. I wondered whether Da Costa was going to make contact with Mitch Evans, and they just about managed to sort it out. Buemi has moved up the order using his attack mode into 8th place, so some useful points possibly for Sebastian Buemi by having that attack mode in the latter stages, but the battle for the win is still very much Mitch Evans, Antonio Felix Da Costa, and potentially Taylor Barnard, the youngster, the not quite complete rookie, but in his first full season with Neil McLaren, being chased by Sam Bird. Sam, who put together that amazing final stages of this race last time out.
All right, here we go.
Come over.
Or no, we're not. Here we go. White flag is out. Last lap at Sao Paulo. Does Da Costa have anything for the 2023 winner?
It's unbelievable. Mitch Evans from last place, final lap of the race, and he's holding it.
He is holding it.
Let's see what happens in turn 4, the next opportunity for Antonio Da Costa. It's quite impressive to see also the straight line speed of the two cars compared to the McLaren. Like, he can't keep up Barnard on the straight line.
The top 4 are definitely putting
1% energy.
is in 5th place. Norman Nato is in 6th place. Mitch Evans is holding on the approach to turn 4. Can Da Costa find any other way of getting past? No doubt he's thinking back to what happened last year. I'm sure he saw how Sam Bird did it on the last lap. But Mitch Evans is doing beautifully here. He's opened up a little bit more of a gap, if anything. The energy dropping away, of course. Unlike Barnard, who's still got plenty more, but he doesn't seem to be able to use it yet. Let's wait and see. We're coming down into that section where Sam Bird took the win last year.
Got 2 turns to go. Can Da Costa pull the bonsai move? Doesn't look like it. One more turn to go. Here comes Mitch Evans. Gonna start off season 11 with a win. Mitch Evans, from last to first, wins the Sao Paulo ePrix. Da Costa second, Barnard third, Bird fourth, Mortara fifth, Nato sixth, De Vries seventh, Buemi eighth, Tictum ninth, Verne in 10th. Fastest lap goes to David Beckman.
The youngster who has ended up with a podium in his first race of the year.
Wow.
Amazing, amazing.
Wow.
Oh, that is absolutely superb. 13 wins in his career for Mitch Evans. That matches the top numbers. That's 3 drivers in Formula 1.
13th win for Mitch Evans. Ties Lucas Di Grassi and Sebastian Buemi for most wins all time.
What a way to come back. Didn't work out for his teammate today, Nick Cassidy, but it certainly worked out for Mitch, starting from the very back.
Mitch, Andre here in the com box. Congratulations, mate. That's an amazing result. Starting last, finishing first. How are the emotions? Must it be a roller coaster?
Yeah, it's weird hearing your voice on the radio. But, wow, what a race. It's kind of hard to process it. And, yeah, just... I was not expecting that to qualify. We had a tough quali. Obviously, didn't do any laps, so I wasn't expecting this at all. I was hoping for some points, but wow, that race was something else. So hope everyone enjoyed it back on.
Yeah, it was a great show, and we know what we're doing tonight, I guess.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Also breaks a tie with Jaguar breaks a tie with Envision and Techeetah for second win against team.
Remarkable victory from Antonio Felix Da Costa and for the Jaguar team, which actually had a bit of a tough weekend, I thought, compared to some of their weekends last year where they were in such strong form. But
different, Taylor.
In the race, so different.
I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. Oh my God. What happened, man?
The 20-year-old from Norwich in Norfolk, who has taken a podium
after a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, after a drive-through penalty. The 4th ever start that he's done. He was already the youngest ever point scorer. I would imagine he's now the youngest ever podium finisher in Formula E. We'll have to check the details on that. But what a wonderful result. But for the team as well, when you think about the teams chasing team points throughout the course of the season, the double points there for Barnard in 3rd and Sam Bird in 4th. That's great news for Neon McLaren.
It's massive for Neon McLaren, and it also fully justifies, you know, Taylor Barnard getting that race seat as a rookie. He got to show his hand for 3 races last year, but
all right, I think that does it for me because I have stuff that I gotta do.
Very nice.
The PIF driver of the race has been voted as Mitch Evans.
I'm not surprised. Last to first.
But thanks to everyone who came out for that. That was a banger of a race.
In motor racing.
Tomorrow, Formula 2 and Formula 1 in Abu Dhabi to end off the year's racing. Hope to see you then. BowserJrXD signing off. Have a good one.